It is your OG show of the week.
Yes.
Tom and Dan, Sam against the Sausage Castle. It was us versus the Sausage Castle. That was the original title. It's when we went and hung out with Mike Busey.
We went there.
I believe this is the one where we went there. We drove all the way out there to his. That was a
2.5 hour drive.
Yeah, that was a long drive.
Yeah.
And then we sat in his recording studio area and used our equipment. He sat in like a chair. We kind of huddled up like we're telling stories. And then he gave us a tour, and we saw the
guns.
We saw all the gun wall. We saw the jumbo bed where he gets his micro dick sucked. He says that. We saw the compound.
All the warehouses.
We saw all the warehouses. We saw the coat hanger, plastic coat hanger he uses to break up his mega turds, his DD mega doo-doos.
Man, it's unbelievable what he's been able to make.
Is it?
As soon as, because it's interesting where Snapchat, it really was only Snapchat that opened up the ability for him to make as much money as he's making now.
Sam, where are we at, being the younger of the room, where are we at on Snapchat right now? Where are we at on that?
It's definitely fallen off, but people still use it.
If you had to rank them, TikTok's still big dog.
Yeah.
And then
TikTok, then I would say Instagram.
Okay, so TikTok, Insta, after Insta, Snapchat?
Yeah.
Then Snapchat, Facebook?
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's just my opinion, but also, I am 35. It's not like I'm that young.
Well, but you're younger.
Yeah.
I got you by 10 years. Facebook's still old dog.
Yes.
Okay.
But I still think it's more popular than Snapchat.
Facebook?
Yeah.
More popular meaning
with
just more
our
people
demographic.
use it? Oh, with your demographic, for sure. Yes.
Like,
or
people
more
over
accounts.
35.
Yeah. Facebook's for boomers.
I never got...
And boomer adjacent.
I never got a Snapchat account. I actually look at TikTok. I prefer looking at TikTok more than any other ones. But I don't post on TikTok.
Right, you're a voyeur. You're lurking.
Yeah.
See, TikTok to me is a gateway drug, and what I mean by that is normally I get on TikTok and I'll see something I'm interested in, like rando man puts together mosaic of Legos of his dog, and it looks perfect, right? And so I'll watch that. I'll be like, oh, that's amazing. Then it goes to a new video, or I swipe up, and then it goes to some horny video of some girl with a half shirt on, like bouncing her boobies, and then instantly I'll just exit out and go right to porn.
Yeah.
Because it's a gateway to me. It's like, you
got horny.
Yeah, reminded me. It's like, you can go to porno now. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
I can go to porno now.
I wonder if in the future, like, these kind of things could be limited or banned, or like because it is like junk food for our brains, and people will be like, oh no, you should not watch video after video after video, like micro video, like that is bad for your brain. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we're doing the end of A Clockwork Orange voluntarily.
Yes.
It does, yeah.
Like
just
the ending of the
nonsense,
movie, right? Like when they're
nonsense,
trying to like brainwash him, they're just literally force feeding him information from
but this
screens.
is voluntary.
Into his...
We're into it.
That's what I'm saying. We're opting in. You know.
Yes, we are.
But it's like some sort of like, you know how food has gotten worse because basically giant corporations figured out what humans crave. They crave salts, fats, sugars, right? And that's rare in the natural environment, but that's why we crave it, right? Like you watch that survival show and like they're trying to find fat.
Crave it to the grave it.
Yeah, like they can't, and sugars is, forget about it. You'll never find sugars in the wild unless you like live somewhere where wild
fruit has sugar.
No,
that's a good porno name. But Sugars in the Wild.
But it's rare to
That's
find
like a
like
girl band name,
right? Sugars in the Wild.
My eyes twitching. It's driving me nuts.
So it's like basically we're craving that naturally, and then society is like, here, we'll give it to you, and all this junk food, and then we're eating and get all fat. And then we're like, oh, man. So it's like
Give me that sweet dopamine dump, baby.
Yeah, bad for society for these corporations to do it. And so now, like, we've pushed back a little bit.
Corporations do bad things?
Yeah. Well,
no.
Yeah,
well, they just want to make
so do
money.
Conservatorships, too. Write that down.
They want to make money.
Friday, that might be ending.
Look at all the pharmaceutical companies. Like when they realize opiates are super addictive, and they're like, people will do anything for this, and they'll spend as much money. And then they were giving them out out and then
completely related.
Killed so many people.
In the old Tom and Dan desk that my wife now uses in our old studio in my home, we found a pain pill in the drawer, an old one, and I took it.
What was it?
It was a what do you call it?
Please say Quaalude. I just
no. It was
that's not a pain pill.
No. It was not an Oxycontin. It was the
hydrocodone.
Yeah. It was awesome. Probably not as fresh as it would have been, but
right.
man, oh man, I was a garage cleaning MF, hitting it. I was polishing my tools.
So, social media.
You doing a Tom talk?
No, I'm thinking about like what Busey's experienced, because even him, like
he fucks on camera, right? Like for all intensive purposes, he's a porn star or an adult entertainer.
There are certain articles that call him a porn star, and I'm like, is he?
I think he fucks on camera. No, I'm being serious when I say this. So
I'm
like,
asking
regardless
genuinely.
of what your kink is, I'm not making fun of his size or I'm not making fun at all. I'm just saying.
I guess if he sells.
He gets his dick sucked on his.
Well, then yeah, I guess right.
On his Snapchat and on his
subscription.
Yeah.
That's what people pay for.
So you're at that point, you're an adult entertainer, right? He is a sex worker.
You know how much more money we'd make? Me and Daniel.
We talked about that this morning. Yeah.
If like we were cool with like adding nudity and like other way over the top shit to our like subscriptions or what we provide as
Sam, I was talking about that band, that Italian band that won the songwriting contest, the Eurovision song contest. The one that movie with Will Ferrell it's based off of. They're called Måneskin. I'm probably saying it wrong. Italian rock band.
Right.
But they're nude all the time. Like if you Google
on stage?
At times, like with pasties and stuff like that. But if you Google them getting interviewed, they're all on the couch. It's like beautiful Italian. All four of them are like good looking, and they're all just nude, dongs out, pussy out, tits out. They're just nude all the time. And then that led Tom to say, like, if we were okay with that sort of thing, that's the kind of thing that does get you publicity. It does get eyes on you.
Well, it goes back to human beings craving sugar, salts, fats. We're also horny animals, right? So like anything like that we crave and we'll pay for and stuff. I mean, it's why pornography and the internet is still the most popular, and I believe will always be the most popular thing, right?
Sam, look this
up. We're not
going
to evolve away from that.
Excuse me. The Twitch chat room, Twisted Movie says, Rammstein did a porn music video where all the members of the band were bang crazy.
All right.
I do not remember the rock band.
Either.
Rammstein. Great band, by the way. Really good German band. I didn't know they did. That was popular for a split second. You could see Cisco's thong song video, or you could see Cisco's thong song video plus that had two titties.
Do you remember Tommy Lee's "Let's Get Naked"?
Yes,
or
Get Naked.
Yeah,
I remember Get Naked. Yes.
Yeah.
They released a full-on porn music video. I did not know
I did not know that either.
Well,
the problem is if you're Rammstein, like we kind of assume that you're cool with nudity and extreme.
They're extreme. They're an extreme band. Yeah.
So like you'd want to see like Katy Perry. You know what I'm saying? You want to see someone that's not. I guess Katy Perry's not. She's overly sexualized. But like anybody that's.
There's only one that I know of that can tip the boxes of you went a 180 and you're doing it right. And the only one I can think of, and most porno guys, if you're a pervert, you're going to know this one, Maitland Ward. She used to be on, I believe, Boy Meets World or Smallville or one of those shows. And she was a main character actress, red hair, very pretty. And she has gone full porno now, where you can subscribe to her, and she looks exactly the same and or better, and she does everything you'd want her to do. I'll leave it at that. No matter what you can think of, she'll do it. She'll even, and you can pay for it. And she's the only one I can think of that's made the full pivot.
Yeah, well, she falls in that sweet category of you're well known because,
but just like it's almost like she's the perfect storm of former actress to porno.
Yes.
Do you see her? Do you know?
Sorry, I'm in all kind of porn sites now trying to figure. Wasn't there? Oh God, was it the Family Matters daughter? She went to porn too. Was it that show?
There are a lot of rumors.
Wasn't the Cosby Show the youngest?
I thought at first it was that.
Rudy.
Is that what it is?
The youngest daughter in the Cosby Show did like a porn.
You guys are mixing that up because you both think all black people look alike. You've said it before.
I thought it was the youngest daughter to one of these shows.
Yes, he's
either
right.
Family
Keisha
Matters.
Knight?
He's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's her, right?
Yeah, and we're mixing it up.
But
or did they both do it?
it's at a time. Think about how many eyes were on those shows because there was no internet back then. You know what I'm saying? It was before everything got diluted. So it's the perfect storm of a lot of people around our age know who that was and were teens when they watched that. Not her, but like let's say the Boy Meets World girl or whatever.
Yeah, Maitland Ward.
It was like the what's the other? It's Tonga or
Topanga.
Topanga.
Tonga.
But anyway, like
Tonga is the Rock's sister, I believe. She's very Polynesian.
The joke being everybody when we were
Tonga's a country
at our age fantasized about Topanga because we were about the same age. We were a horny teen. You know what I'm saying? So like,
she had like
if Topanga.
They knew what they were doing with Topanga. She would walk on screen, then everybody would be like,
Yeah, she was curvy and she had full lips.
They'd
and
wear low-cut blouses.
Yeah, they knew how to stylize that for, I mean, that shit happens now, man. God.
But Topanga, if she ever wanted to, because she's the perfect the case where you could, if you ever wanted to go. She was a
lot of people's childhood crush.
Yeah.
And that's what Maitland Ward is. Yes, that's absolutely what she's going for. In fact, if you want a fun fact, I believe, and this is interconnected small business, my memory is weirdo, remembering things. Okay, Deli Fresh Threads, that's our buddy Biggie. Mm-hmm. He sent Maitland Ward one of his deli shirts, and she modeled it for him on his website, and I believe that was like a nut hair before she went full porno. So hats off to that guy for just doing the hustle of sending shit out to influencers and seeing if they'll wear their stuff. I don't know if you paid her or whatever, but man, because I remember seeing that right after she did porno, and I'm like, how the fuck did Biggie do that? I was like, that is awesome.
I think I talked to him about this. I think he said that he followed her on Instagram, and I forget what shirt it was, or whatever. It was like her favorite sandwich, so he just sent her a shirt with her favorite sandwich on it.
She seems super nice. Look, I'm not faulting anybody, doing spicier entertainment, but it is weird.
I'm saying I think that's why she was more inclined to wear it.
Correct.
Like if it was something, just some random somebody's brand name, she probably wouldn't have wore it. But.
It's weird with influencers because I'm trying to figure out like the marketing aspect of all this because it seems to be a lot of random happenstance and the right product at the right time. And I'll explain this. And the fact is like it seems like either their marketing works insanely well for free stuff that they get or not at all if you tried to market with them, because I remember Dice Man told me about Party Patch, and he's like, you send Party Patches out to all these influencers that maybe have like 10,000 or whatever, like smaller followings, and if one of them promotes it, then it could translate to thousands of sales. And he gave me an example of like some influencer that had like 15,000 TikTok followers, and she made like a Party Patch video of her like partying and then like wearing the Party Patch, and it translated into some ridiculous amount of sales that is. So I'm like, well, that works, but I bet if you got her to promote some, I'm trying to think of anything else, like some other product of like a hoodie that, whatever the hell you're selling, like could be zero or like nothing at all. So I don't know. I mean, because it seems like if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it, and no one's doing it that much. Like you talk to a lot of these influencers that have huge followings, and no one's pounding their door down to advertise. Fucking Big Tim's got nearly 100,000 TikTok followers. Doesn't got any like current advertisers. Yeah. And you think like
you would think
but a lot of people do. So I think it depends on the person, because there's a lot of people that are just random ass people that now are sponsored by big companies on TikTok that aren't anybody. They're not like musicians, they're not actresses or actors. They're just they made videos, got a bunch of followers, and people send them free shit to talk about on their channel.
Yeah, but people sending you free stuff, are they paying you?
It depends. It depends. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't.
So that's the thing. It's like if it worked, I feel like all the companies would be just hitting up every influencer that had anything and just begging them like, hey, I'll give you $1,000. Like if it worked that well, but I guess it's all subjective to your audience and
it does
who
work.
it is.
There are tons of people that all they make their money off of is like sponsored ads. They get paid by money, not by just the product.
100%. I mean, we do that. I mean, it works. I know
That's
it
our
works,
model.
but I'm just saying it doesn't work for everybody at all times.
All right, this is Downing rods again.
No. But if it did,
Downing rods. I don't even know what a downing rod is.
well,
Isn't that the same thing? Downing, dividing?
Dowsing.
Is it dowsing? Okay.
I've talked to other influencers that have way more followers than us, and they're not getting flooded with like marketing requests. That's all I'm saying. It's like you'd think they would be if it was like a guarantee.
I mean, we've been using the term. I know we fall into this when we're talking on these things a lot, but like we use the term engagement a lot. But there's almost another component to it where you can have a ton of people that are following you, but how organized?
Right.
Is it organized?
People could follow you and they're just not engaged.
Yeah,
audience.
If it's not organized in any way, shape, or form, if there's no way for them to organize themselves or be organized together, then
That's all I'm saying.
It may not mean anything. It may just be like a shotgun blast scattered all over the place. They're there, but there's the power is when they're together. You know, their power is when they're organized.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that really, but it makes more sense to me. Like,
and
for instance,
what
like
the product is.
Also, for this one, this Biggie one's a good example because he sends this shirt to Maitland Ward. I guess she likes the product naturally. Boom, there's your home run because apparently she wears it all the time. So if it's just something naturally that she likes, then obviously it's going to win because she's got skin in the game just for liking it, right? It's not like she's trying to tell people something that she's getting paid to do. She's like, no, I like this. This is authentic me, and that resonates with people.
It's true. Like the authenticity of it. It's just like it seems more complicated than it's just. Hey, if this person mentions it or does a commercial, then
there she is. I don't know if you saw her, but there she is in her hoagie shirt, and her nipples are hard. So of course it's going to sell some shirts.
I think she had another one too, right? Where she was like in a bikini bottom stand, and he was like pulling the shirt down. Yeah, that's the one I remember.
I mean, Biggie knows what he's doing.
Yeah. We got to start sending these out to people.
We thought about this a while ago.
We got some new merch coming up.
We've kicked around the idea of getting good-looking men and women. We're not just going to do like for the guys. You know, we thought about getting like good-looking buff girls and guys to wear our outfits, and then we're like, oh, guys, just take too long to set it up. Just take a picture of it on the tile.
Well, yeah, I mean, because at a certain point, it's like, all right, we can hire a photographer and go, get them. It's like we are not big enough. We're not a merch company, so it seems like, are we going to go through all this? And then that's hundreds of dollars. Like, I mean, the photographer for a day is at least $300, and then hiring the models and getting the shoot done, and to like how many extra shirts will that sell us? It's hard to like quantify that, right? Like because everybody who's buying our shirts are BDMs anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, are they gonna be like, oh, now I'll buy? They were gonna buy them anyway. I don't think the model would have done very much more. Okay,
here's my Busey question. Going back to him, when does he decide he can no longer be the persona that he's living now? Or is he authentic?
I think he's going to ride it all the way to the end.
Till the end.
I think so.
Well, me and Daniel talk about this all the time where how long can you be an influencer for? And what does that mean? So, like, it's reasonable to believe that every influencer has a lifespan, right? So, but what does that mean? And how long do you continue to do it? And maybe as long as how many people are following you, do you continue to do it and put out content? As long as you want, right? Yeah. Because it doesn't matter unless you have to go find another job or do something else. So it's like, I mean, essentially, me and Daniel talk about this. Like, we could, we do the podcast. It's reasonable to believe that after 10, 20, 30, say years, like our audience will drop off, but I bet you there'll still be someone there.
Yeah.
Like,
we
Tracy, Norm,
yeah.
like,
we have news for you right
there'll
now.
be something, and then do we continue to do it for
news.
24 people?
We haven't talked about this. Tom and I, on Friday, we guaranteed that no matter what happens, 30 years from now, we will still be doing the show in remote locations, we promise you. It probably will just be old you, old me. I might be dead. It might be a robot of me.
Because
I'll be 85.
It's just like everything, like how someone's like, oh, I'll
be doing it.
I'll kill myself if I start shitting my pants, right? Like, have you heard that before? Like, people.
Well,
I've only heard you say that.
Did you say that? Because I better not say that because I shit my pants every day.
Like
if I said that, I'd have to kill myself 10 years ago.
Like my pop-up when he was, let's say, Alaska pop-up.
Wait, a little bit of shit or just straight shitting your pants? There
Well,
is
like
a
you just
difference.
can't control it at all.
Yeah, like if I fart and a nug falls out, or if I don't wipe good, that's way different than just full-on loading it up.
Well, that's the thing. Everything happens slowly, right? Things, you don't go from, Baldwin Park house to haunted house.
Everybody says you'll be alive, it'll be a Dan bomb.
but
Okay, that's fine.
Like
I'm okay with that.
Things die slowly or deteriorate slowly. So when you say, like, I'm sure there's like you'll say, well, I'll never do this if only 100 people are listening. But it didn't go from 10,000 to 100 in one day, right? It went from 10,000 to 100 over 20 years.
Correct, yeah.
So it's like you do the show, you're like, oh, a couple people less than the time before. And then you keep doing that. And then at what point do you make the decision to, like, this is too little? Probably. And we've never seen it because all these shows and social media and like influencers are still going.
Yes.
And when do they just decide that they're going to stop? Essentially,
it
they
when
could just
actors do
keep
that.
going until they die or something happens to them, right?
But
Actors have to be in movies, so someone has to put that together. It's hard for them just to do it themselves. Like any of us or any of the social media influencers can do it themselves
they're
for next to
DIY,
nothing.
correct.
So as long as they have their cell phone still working, they can still put out content.
this goes to my dream job, my dream, my fantasy, living under a bridge, being alone.
Yeah.
You know, it's an underlying theme of the show. It kind of goes along with, I mean, it might as well be my gambling, I guess, is, boy, that's disappointing, right? Like you have this cool gambling world and universe you live in, and my fun universe is me living alone and destitute under some bridge. I digress. There are now people that are writing me and telling me their favorite places for me to hide around Florida.
Well,
Abandoned towns, abandoned buildings, places for me to go and live out my end of days.
this is a common. I think your fantasy, it taps into other people's common human fantasy, and I'll explain.
Well, like celebrities that just drop everything. They did one big, huge movie and then they go away.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, you know,
It's so cool.
remember like Jim Phillips used to talk about like wanting to jump off a cruise ship or whatever, like or jump off a
Yeah.
bridge or something
Yes.
like that's a thing that all humans. If you
Yeah.
look it up or whatever, some
I have that
psychological
for
thing.
sure.
Yeah, it's like it's a weird thing where it's like when you're waiting for the train, you're like, what if I just jumped in front of it? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it crosses people like insane things that you're like, wow, that would be, it's crazy that I have the power to do that,
Right.
mixed with like ending your life and the fantasy, like it's a weird subconscious
weird.
thoughts, right? And I think the wanting to disappear or be left alone and no one knows where you are or what, like that is some weird subconscious human thought that I often, like not even often, but I've thought about before. It's like, imagine being hidden where in a place where no one knows where you are.
I like that.
You know, like that, like just no attention.
Like I'll give you.
I don't know what that is.
I'll give you a for instance that piques my anxiety in a good way. You know, like anxiety can be. You know, that's really just like like a dopamine dump or whatever. You know, like so if I get to let's say I come into the studio and they just put new fish in and all the lights are off and it's just me in here. I can sit on that couch and just alone. And nobody knows I'm here, and I get something out of that, like. The feeling of only being here, sitting in the
like
dark.
it's your little secret space.
I don't know what it is. I
Dude,
cannot
well,
explain it correctly, but yes.
Think about human beings, like we've evolved, and there was a lot of times while we were evolving, we were probably alone by ourselves without any other human contact for multiple days or whatever. You went hunting or like you got
Yeah,
lost.
like I like standing in the woods quietly.
Like when's the last time you've gone?
Some people hate that though. Some people hate like being alone with their own thoughts.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's healthy for everyone.
It is.
Sometimes to just decompress by yourself. Right?
It's a skill. I think it is a skill you should know how to do.
Be able to do.
Like-
yeah.
Like Tom's very good at it.
Yeah,
I'm never
he
alone.
prefers to.
No,
yeah,
but if
I'm
you
never
are,
alone.
but if you
but
are,
in
you're
your
dead
mind,
quiet. Yeah.
like
Oh,
sometimes here you're in your own zone.
Yeah. You're dead quiet.
Well, that's getting but that's a hindrance to my life. But yeah, being able to tune everything out and just be up in my own head, I do a lot. But again, I shouldn't do it with other people around.
You would make an awesome airline pilot. Nothing would break your concentration.
Here's the thing.
Oh, what was that?
You think
What
I'm
was that noise? Was that the landing gear going down? What was that?
You think I'm not concentrating on one thing, 1,000 things. That ADD is going through.
But that's what I feel like pilots are doing, and I feel like you just concentrate on the flying.
No.
He'd jump on an email on his phone.
Yeah,
We'd all be dead. We'd all be dead.
It's an autopilot.
Going right into the mountains.
Look, I fly planes. But by the way, Microsoft Flight Simulator has cured my fear of flying. Anybody afraid of flying, just $80. Buy the Microsoft. It'll walk you through how planes work. And I think the science of understanding how physics and how planes are falling through the sky, you will better yourself and you will be... What's happening? What was that?
I think that was
the neighbors are back.
Yeah,
they're back?
They're back at it.
So
they're older now, too. Their jumps are heavier. When they land on the ground, it sounds like two 18-year-old boys.
Speaking of being by yourself, they just found a hiker...
no, not the hikers again.
I think he was a cross-country skier.
You wonder why people go hiking when everybody ends up dead.
I don't know why I go hiking.
Yeah, we do because you like to. Your favorite thing is the stuff you're scared of.
Well, this
murder hiking.
I can't let my fear run my life.
Okay. No, well, these people are going on extreme, backcountry skiing, like stuff that we never even
the full,
come close to do.
Appalachian Trail. I'm not doing that.
No need.
But this skier basically found it was from, a skier they believe because they found some of his personal items, but it was from the 80s. He went missing, and someone recently found his remains or whatever. But when I hear stories like this, and it's like, oh, this German guy, he was single, he had a roommate, he went to go cross-country skiing one weekend, never came back. They went to go search for him, a blizzard happened or whatever. They never found him.
Happenstance, they never got to him.
And then someone found his bones 30 whatever years later.
Sure.
But anybody like those stories of the people that are able to go on journeys or even adventures, and this is not like he was just doing it for the day, but he was going out there to totally by himself with no way. I mean, we're in the 80s, there's no way to even call for help. It fascinates me that people are that brave to do that by themselves, and it piques my curiosity to be like to think, could I do that, or just leave somewhere and be totally self-sustained? Like obviously you have like camping equipment or whatever, but just like camp out and hike somewhere in the middle of nowhere with no communication whatsoever and rely just on myself to survive. I mean, and I say survive, but like you have tent and food and stuff like that, but that's pretty crazy that someone could do that.
I can give you a modern one that's impressive to me. I have a friend who has his pilot's license who wanted to go see a jam band, Dave Matthews. So
fly by yourself.
He just goes and he rents a plane, gets in a plane, and he flies to the Carolinas and lands, and then he has a hotel room, and he gets out because it's easy. He does that morning, right? Lands, goes to the thing, and then the next morning gets in his plane that he ran, flies it back. I'm like,
I know a lot of people
there is something very cool about that.
Like to go like vacation on their own. Like to new cities and places. Like I could never do that. Like,
I got a lot of couples that do that on their own. I know a lot of couples where the guy will go off on like a hunting trip, but the lady will go off on like, oh, I went to Europe by myself with my mom.
That's nuts to, I'm saying by themselves with nobody, no companion at all.
The hunting trip, they're there with their
buddies. It's a boys trip. Like
I couldn't do the backpacking alone through Europe. Well, I couldn't
do. I don't know. I need someone to hang out with, like have lunch, and you know what I mean. Like I don't know.
Also, my wife has
made
me
weak. Chirping to keep me warm.
I don't like talking to strangers. So you could probably handle it.
I think that is a skill that where chirping would help me in because I'd be making new friends, or at least I'd still be supplementing that feeling by chirping.
Yeah.
From being with my wife for so long, I've let her do certain things in my life that I'm not good at, and I just said, "Oh, fuck it," let her do it. But it's made me weak now, where I'm starting to look at it and like, "Fuck, I haven't done this in so long that I'm not that good at it." It's just like reps. Like if you don't keep up the reps of sustaining and like being able to do everything, by yourself, you will lose that and become dependent on this partner that you have. I've done it where
everybody's done it.
I'm dependent on my wife for a lot of things. Now, I could get it together to live in an apartment by myself, but can I go on a European vacation.
You just planning a trip by yourself wouldn't happen.
Of course,
Yeah.
That'd be hard.
Like
Yeah.
finding all the train stops and all the stuff,
Scheduling everything.
the stuff that I just gave to my wife, and I'm good at certain things, she's good at other things, and we kind of just like, all right, you stick to this, I'll stick to this.
I'm really just good at making just like some lighthearted comments, while the other stuff she's good at.
yeah,
I don't really
that's
have
that's
any.
rough.
Yeah, it is rough.
Yeah, I mean, to try to do now things by yourself, but then why?
You know, where I first learned that the hard way was with a child. You know, like my wife is very regimented about all the things that, go on with a kid. You know, if you don't actively pay attention to that, you can lose, you'll lose control. It'll spiral out of control. Then next thing you know, you don't even know where your daughter's school is at. You don't know what classroom to go to. You know what I mean? Like if you don't ask the questions, you don't know which door to go in. You don't know where to go, what time to do, nothing. I just know that my daughter appears in front of me at dinner time and she's safe.
If you told me right now, go to your son's classroom, I have no idea.
I can't do it.
Because
I can't do it.
who the hell knows that? I
haven't been in the school. I've never been in.
crazy.
Well,
I don't even know if she's actually in there. She could
there's-
be on. They could put her down in a tunnel downstairs. I don't know.
With Corona, there's been a lot less like visitation and shit. But for the most part, you drop your kid off, they go to their class. It's not like you're like, what classroom are you? They don't even fucking know.
I mean, they could
They're
walk
like
in.
blue hallway. I'm like, okay, well, what number? And they're like,
It could be a movie set. Like she could walk in and it could just be Squid Game room. I don't know what she's doing in there.
yeah. And then they don't tell you anything. So it's like, what do you do? I got this special.
Well, don't ask your kid. What'd you do today? I don't remember. It was 5 fucking minutes ago. I
And-
just picked you up. What were you doing 5 minutes ago? I don't remember.
I also look at it this way: is like, how good do you want to get at taking care of a 5-year-old? You're only going to do it for a year. You never, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're never like.
I like that.
Well, I'm saying, like,
That's why this guy's got the fucking goods. That's the best thing you've ever said on the show. I'm stealing that.
Well, it's just, and then
That's great.
and so it's like, how good do you want to get at it? So what? You could waste it. We're never going to have another 5-year-old to take care of.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe if you have more kids.
No,
more than
not
one
me.
kid.
Well, if I can't even physically have more kids.
And
so,
my wife won't let me.
it's one of those
And I'm
things
nut
where-
crazy. I nut everywhere. What?
Don't say that.
Okay. I'll redact that.
Also, what happens if you
Goodness.
did get the vasectomy? Your wife wouldn't be mad at you.
I want to get the vasectomy. You think my wife would be mad at me if I
No,
got
I'm saying your wife wouldn't be mad at you.
Well, she
right?
won't let me get it, though. She's like, I don't know if you want to do that. I think she's just being nice. Like, you don't need to go through that.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's like it would
But
be
I
better
will.
for her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She
And
can
it's
get
not-
off birth control. That stuff making clots in her legs and shit.
It's not like she's gonna, want you to be able to start a new family. She's not gonna have any kids, so it doesn't make sense. Like, although
I would want to start a new family, though. That's what happens with everybody when you become the second dad. You put in more time. We talked about this last week. You always put in more time on the second family.
yeah,
I need to talk to somebody who's part of the first family, whose dad left. And then I want to get him to describe in detail how much better his biological dad is to the second family.
I hear a lot of those stories
Yeah,
on other
it's like-
podcasts.
It's like a thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's your second shot.
I mean, you start doing the math, and you're like, well, a 27-year-old wife better than a 40-year-old wife.
Yeah,
Who are we
I mean,
kidding here? I mean, wait, who's gonna argue that point?
And fuck them kids, right?
Well, then you have
that's
new
disgusting.
kids.
They got to be 18.
And then you're like, well, I've done this before, so I know what and none of this. First off,
You know what?
circumcised.
I'm getting to a scary. I'm getting to a scary part of life that I've never. I don't think I've ever talked about this on any show, and I'm glad it's BDM. I'm getting to a point where none of it excites me. Old pussy, new pussy, none of it. I'm getting to that area.
Well,
that
you never had the new pussy.
I'm getting that.
so
old,
you don't know.
well, I was having a lot of new pussy up until the time when I hitched my wagon to one pussy.
Well, that was a long. I mean, now
It
you're
was a
talking
long
about
time ago, but I
goddamn
remember a
nearly
lot.
20 years ago.
Now that I remember. I have a bad memory, but I remember every pussy I saw.
Okay. Well, I mean, but you don't know how would it be
No,
now.
but I'm saying now I'm not even interested in it. Now I'm so disgusted that I can't have new, and I just have what I have, and I don't even want that. I'm getting to the point where, like,
So you want nothing.
yeah, I want nothing. Leave me alone.
Wow.
Don't touch me.
Okay, yeah.
You disgust me. is where I'm at.
That's
This is new.
I don't know if anybody can relate to that.
Yeah, this one's new. This one's new. Where I'm
like
mad.
you got it on the table, doesn't want it.
No, I'm mad
that's-
because I'm like, well, if that same old, I've had this. It's like, goddamn, meatloaf again. Like, I can't do this anymore.
Sick
I don't
of
want
it, yeah.
anything then.
Yeah,
Abstinent.
You're spoiled as hell.
Yeah, I am pretty
yeah.
spoiled.
it'll come back.
You think so?
I don't know. Your testosterone starts to go down. I guess that's what
true.
happens. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna let it. I'm gonna start doing the supplements and the injections.
I want injections. How's Butler still get injections?
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not for testosterone. You need the straight T. The same shit that every rich guy takes and everybody that looks buff.
Yeah.
That's
I want to be a buff businessman. Remember the sales guy we used to work with? I won't say his last name. First name Sam.
Yeah,
He was on it.
yeah.
But he was on it early. I feel like he was on it like early 40s, like 39, 40, like your age.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was on
You
it
can do it.
then because he was my height. Remember Sam?
as long as you
And he was buff.
As long as you want to spend the $500 to $1,000 a month or whatever it is.
Do you remember him?
You can
No.
do it. If
I'll
you're
call you
rich-
Samantha for this. But Sam, he was
Okay.
an upper level sales guy at
I don't really
iHeart.
deal with any salespeople.
And he was a little guy. He was maybe a nut hair taller than me, but the dude got on it and he looked great.
Well, I think he was a workout dude.
He was,
every
but-
day,
but he got
hour a
on
day.
it.
Yeah. The testosterone.
You could tell.
You get your testosterone up to where the levels of you're 18. I mean, there's some side effects to it. You blow your hair out. And like,
See, I don't want to blow my hair out.
if you get
I got
Well-
decent
Get
hair.
wigs.
No, I'm not
Only-
getting wigs.
Come
I did like
on.
your wig though from Fest. That was great.
Even
it was
if-
the quickest I could get
It
in
looked
that
good.
short amount of time.
well, if
I
you don't
like
have
it.
genetic male pattern baldness, then it won't.
Okay.
It'll accelerate male pattern baldness.
So it'll pull back the sides a little bit.
if you have that
Yeah,
anyway,
in
you know
the
what I'm
family,
saying?
a little bit of that. Everybody's got a little bit of that.
But that's why you're at the good age where you start getting your 50s. Then
God,
that's where
I
you
might
start
be the
taking-
right time to do it. I'm 45.
Yeah.
So
But-
what do I do? Do I go to my doctor?
You have to go to the right doctor, the one that's gonna just legal drug
Well,
dealer.
this one, I think I could level with her. I mean, she's like pretty. The worst she could say is no. I'm gonna ask her though.
Well,
Well, like, hey,
no, you go to a testosterone doctor.
no,
like ones that
I
peddle
gotta,
it,
yeah, those are like you go to a fake doctor.
Yeah. The ones that peddle the testosterone, and they're telling you the truth. Technically, the problem is it's expensive as shit, and like I said, there's certain side effects. Or whatever.
Kendall in our Twitch chat room.
But then when you get on it, you can't get off. That's why it's like you got to dedicate the money a month. It's got to be important to you.
Kendall says that he injects his every Wednesday. Where do you inject it, Kendall?
In your ass.
Oh, into your ass?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Does it
Or
hurt?
a leg or something like that. Nah. it's
How
okay.
active? How quickly do you feel the effects? Is it like one of those things where I get it and I'm like, oh yeah, motherfucker! Look at me like, yo, get him on.
I don't know. My buddy said that when he was taking it.
Kendall is $100 a month with syringes. That's not bad.
Okay, that's not.
What is your
Now-
insurance cover it?
The rich guys that I know that do it, they go to their doctor because the problem is if it's off at any time, like you don't want it above a certain threshold because then it could be bad for you.
Kendall says it takes about a day to kick in.
And then so you got to keep it, I think, under the normal human limit.
Right.
So the rich guys, they go to their doctor quarterly to blood test to check it. You
so
know,
you can keep it
like
regulated.
you need to do it 100% healthy and the right way. You need to fucking throw money at it.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't want to do. And honestly, you can't get unless you have some sort of something wrong with you. That's why my doctor is like, don't get on that shit. It's all fucking racket. He's like, bullshit. He knows all the scam deals where also you get on it for a long period of time, your body will stop making its own. So then you get off of it.
Same thing with dopamine too.
It'll fuck you up. You start
Yeah.
growing titties and whatever. Like
Anything artificial that supplements something
So-
your body makes will hurt you in the long run.
so
I'm learning that now.
You start asking yourself, you're like, well, do I want to start messing with the chemistry of my body for the rest of my life? Because that's what you start getting into.
Jesus. Okay, Just Jen in our Twitch chat room says, I have a friend, in parentheses, a woman, that has testosterone pellets put under her skin for slow release. It lasts about 4 months. Let me get them pellets, man. Right under where you put them.
Well, that's something
Put them on
different.
the back of my calves.
That may be for if you want like the chemical therapy if you're transitioning into a male, or you know what I'm saying, like that kind of thing. I don't know if they do that for.
I'm transitioning into a male.
For an old rich guy that just wants the testosterone of an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
I think it's just injections. And then they give you like estrogen blockers.
Oh, no, you
and
find
some
the
other
right
stuff.
doctor.
Couple things.
Find the right doctor, they'll do anything.
Couple things I'm trying this year on the show. Viagra. I'm going to try Viagra on the show.
Have you never tried it before?
Never tried it. I'm going to take it during the show so I can describe my priapism to everybody. That's a hard word to say, priapism.
Viagra, my buddies have taken that before too, and they said it's fun.
Yeah, I just want to try it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, why not?
It just gives you a boner when you want one. That's it.
Can you make it go away, or is it like it doesn't go away?
They said it goes away if you're not,
But
like
it's fast. It's like boner, go away. Boner, go away. That's what I want to do. I just
Probably depends on the person.
Yeah. I know nowadays you don't have to get like the prescription.
You can get the
it mailed to you.
generics.
Yeah, there's
There's
a bunch
tons
of
of
stuff
generics now.
now. Anyway,
All right.
have we gone too far?
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
Enjoy.
You've gone too far.
Enjoy Mike Busey, where we went out to the old sausage castle and checked out his domain. And we'll see you on the BDM show.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. Let's do some voicemails.
All right, buddy. If you want to leave us a voicemail message, super easy to do. 2 ways to do it. Call this number 1-844-TOM-N-DAN. That's 1-844-TOMNDAN. Or get our free Mediocre app. All of our content's on there. You can even sign up to be a BDM member. That really helps to support the show. Live events are starting to roll out. In fact, Sofa and Suds is on the horizon. I'm stoked about it. It's going to be incredible. And BDMs, our core members, they find out about everything we're doing outside of the show first.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be a cold Sofa and Suds. Well, I say cold, 65.
Be nice.
Chilly.
It's
It'll be nice.
Nice for hoodie weather.
Yeah. I know the ladies. You get a pair of
Crisp.
boots. You like to get out there, wear your boots.
Get your Uggs.
One time a year, you get your Ugg boots out there. Get your dirty Uggs out there. Kicking around the Sanford streets.
It's funny. We say 65 and
Sweater weather.
It's like that's hot, so hot for other parts of the country.
Yeah.
It's like 65. Like that's like, oh, it's gonna be a nice hot day outside. You know,
Yeah.
like
It's all relative,
Yeah,
baby.
I
it's
know,
like
it's
California
crazy.
Florida,
surfing
I'm
weather, right?
freezing right now.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So we got all that looking forward to. Mediocre app. That's where you get all of our content. Let's start with this one because this week's BDM show we revisited a visit to Mike Busey's Sausage Castle. So here is a voicemail about that.
Yo, BDM Neil here. Why did you guys not do this watering hole like last weekend before the Halloween Mike Busey party? My wife and I went to have the crazy experience and I could have done it for y'all. What are y'all doing? Anyways, I haven't called in a minute. Update of life. I've gone back to work for 2 days a week, now working at home. My daughters are growing good. Arya has been asking for a phone.
Wait a minute, you're going to give me the rundown of your family? I want to hear about the Mike Busey party.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about how smart your daughters are. I'm sure they're lovely people. I want to hear about the debauchery at Middle Earth.
Also, how like, so you have kids and you and your wife are like, let's go
He
see
got me.
what's going on at the
Date
Sausage
night,
Castle.
Date night.
It's a weird
Date night.
thing to have you and your wife do together as a right.
Is it?
Well, if you're both into that kind of thing.
I mean,
What is
Some
what
would
is that?
say-
Is it an eyes wide shut type situation?
Some
But it's
would
not
say
even like that, I don't think.
Some would say
Is
going
it?
to the Enzion is just one click below it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what, I mean, we've been, it's funny, this week's BDM show is us going to the Sausage Castle and then it, like getting us, like, when I was dating.
You and I are the only two people that cannot say the word sausage, and we can. He and I have this morning. We've said it 100 times. We've never said it right. We say it like an old black lady. We say chachich.
What's wrong with
We
you
say
two?
the chachich castle. Good Lord.
You would just call it the castle or something.
Sure.
Like Mike Busey's house.
No, we say it like
So-
Bubba's mom, the chachich castle.
We went to Mike Busey's house and then we did the daytime tour and like a lot of craziness. But I just assume the parties are like, I mean, how
Do
crazy.
you watch his Snapchat?
No.
Oh.
I don't watch his Snapchat.
But how
yeah, it gets crazy.
every single party? Like, what kind of? Are we talking
Is there
about
any,
live sex
does he have
shows?
does he have any parties that are just mellow?
I don't think so.
Is it
I think
all-
that's, to be on brand, they all got to be a little crazy.
But
how crazy?
I always thought some were orgies and some were s'mores.
I almost cursed because I forgot we were doing ACT. But there's T's out. There's D's out. There's things out.
D's
T's and D's.
Okay,
and D's,
T's out
okay,
is
whatever.
way different than
But
D's
all
out.
the time? I mean, is it?
Whenever I tune in, yeah.
T's out is a 6. D's out is an 11.
That's
a
very
different
aggressive.
party.
Well, what does Neil tell us about that? Why does he be like,
don't know.
"So,
That
to
I
give
can't
you a
help you
recap-"
with.
Oh,
And
me
then
and my old lady went to the sausage castle. Oh, to give you a recap, Ariana's I got straight A's this year. I'm like, who the hell
Oh,
cares?
fantastic.
What did you
Anybody
get
care
us your
about that?
Christmas letter at the end of the year?
Let
What
me
do you-
read from my family Christmas letter while the boys are back in T-ball.
What
Jonathan
the hell?
got his first home run.
Yeah, tell us about the sausage
And
castle.
Yeah.
Little
give us the
Jerry got an RBI. It's his first. He's never done it before. You know, he's not athletically inclined, and right now we're saving for Ariana's wheelchair.
What would make you think, no offense, but did we care about your daughter and son's, like, report cards? And not the sausage castle, which we were asking about.
Unfortunately, Grammy Jeanette succumbed to cancer this year.
Like, tell us what happened. Did you go there and, like, you're drinking with your wife and all of a sudden, like...
did Mike Busey pop out of the bush?
D's and
he's
T's?
Like, let's do it.
Like, when did the
Let's
D's
do
and
it.
T's
Do it.
come? Like...
Is there a parade? Does it just happen? Were you at the campsite or did you stay inside?
Because that's the thing. Because
Did you swim in the pool?
Get
Did
to
you
ride
go to
a
the compound?
four-wheeler?
Did you play volleyball?
I'm trying to
Did
think.
you get on the tilt-a-whirl or whatever they got going on out there?
Oh, they got
now?
all the carnival rides. Did you see Miguel Colon's comedy set?
Like, okay, what's the craziest part? I know we've talked about this before, but like, I can't even think of like the craziest party I've been to where it would be considered some sort of like Burt Kreischer.
The craziest party
tale
I've ever
party, you know
been
what I'm
to,
saying?
and I was only there for about 12 minutes, was when I watched Cabin Boy Judge Gapetoberfest
You didn't go there.
2011.
He said never to talk about.
I know.
He was
I think
texting
it was
me.
more reason than that, which makes it worse.
He was texting me this morning. He's like, "Don't ever talk about
He's
it."
like,
Oh.
just to reiterate,
just missed it this
never
year.
again.
He's like, "I did that for charity for Kevin's kidney." Why do you guys keep bringing it up?
Kevin's
That's what he did it for. He's like, "I did it to save my best friend's life."
gaping for a purpose.
And you guys are ruining my career.
He's fine.
Anyway,
He's rich, got a hot wife.
Yeah,
He's-
he is
That
fine.
guy's
You know what?
killing it.
Take that.
yeah,
Yeah.
take
Okay.
it.
He's also
and
like-
he's incredible at college gambling.
Yeah,
Where
he's
every
also
single
first in
weekend
our
he's like,
fantasy
"Fire!
league."
I won again." I'm like, "God damn
Why
it!"
do you take advice from him
No,
then?
'Cause
they're
I'm-
bitter enemies. You
Because
don't know that.
I'm like, this is the week for sure he gets it wrong because statistics say you can't get it right every week and he keeps winning.
He's doing good in our fantasy league too.
I know. That's what makes me so mad. I'm like, you know how hard I try and I keep losing every single week.
Oh.
Stinky Rams.
So Neil, call
You
back.
stink!
Neil, you got to call back and give us the rundown. We don't care. No offense. I mean, we want your family to be healthy. We want your daughters and your wife to be happy.
Right.
But we want the details on you and your wife's adventures at the Sausage Castle.
Didn't he open up the call saying that we blew it by not making it a water hole? He blew it by not telling
Well,
us what the hell happened at the
He
party.
said
Well,
we
hold
should have
on.
done it earlier.
We're not fighting with him. He's an all-time favorite listener. We're just not agreeing on. He doesn't understand why we didn't make them a watering hole, and we don't understand why he didn't give us the details on Mike
We
Busey's
both messed
part.
up.
Yeah,
Is this-
we both messed up. Mutual mess up.
Is this BDM Boatman, Neil?
No,
Oh,
different
okay.
Neil. In
I
fact,
don't
this
think he's
Neil
there.
always calls in because you always do that. This is
Damn
like
it.
the third time we've done that.
All right.
There's
BDM
more than one Neil, Tom.
I promise I'll remember. Oh, God.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. I promise. Uh-oh. Something. Let's try this one. Where are you at on divining rods? Are you done with it yet?
People are still fighting on the BDM
They
page.
are.
Well, it's just like anything else. It's, like Ice Bucket Challenge, even after its peak, it still trickles out for another 5 months, right?
It's a
Its popularity.
now it's this new fight where people are that don't believe in it and don't use it are like mad that the people that believe in it and use it, and then the people that believe in it and use it are like, I'm
Sounds
telling
a lot
you.
like religion, doesn't it?
Well, it's different than because the people that are actually using it, it goes back to what we figured out with the Kosha show, which is basically
Friday's ACT of last week, if
Yeah.
you want to hear it.
I think it does work, but it's not for the reasons why people think it does.
Right.
It works because they're doing the calculations in the brain. Their brain is actually telling them. But I believe that it does actually work finding the pipes more often than not. That's why they keep doing it, right?
Correct, but it's not magic. Here is a dude chiming in.
Yo, Tom and Dan. Sure, you've had a million messages about this whole divining rod, or what I know him as is witch sticks. But
Okay, now he goes on. He's going to curse after that. But I'd never.
Okay.
I wanted to stop. No, I'm not going to make you do the edit. I just
Oh.
wanted him to say witch sticks. I'd never heard that until his voicemail. And then this morning, I got a bunch of emails from people that do refer to them as witch sticks.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's normally like a negative thing. It's like, put those witch sticks away. That don't work.
Oh,
That's
okay.
garbage. Get out of here with that garbage.
Witching sticks, yeah,
Yeah.
it's the whole thing.
Yeah. So there's that.
What did he say? They worked or not?
No, he says they're all BS, and then he uses a bunch of expletives. So this is kind of where we're at now, like to kind of prove this anger. Like people are now calling in saying, if you do believe in this, you're the worst person. You're an
No,
idiot.
no. Well, they're looking at it wrong, and that's the thing. Like I was obsessed.
It's
with,
making people mad.
Well, they're looking at it. They're because
How
made
can
Tom
you believe
mad
in this?
for a while.
Like, how can you believe in this? How
Which
could you be
made
this
me laugh
stupid?
so hard.
Well, it made me mad until I figured out it does work because their own brains are making a better educated guess than they could have maybe without using them. But that's the problem. Like I'm stuck with, could you have made the guess without using them? And that's why I don't know. So like the people that swear by them and use them every day, could they be just as successful if they just said, I think it's there?
Right.
Is it
I
in
don't
a
know.
weird way similar to like when I can't remember something, or then when I toot my toot whistle and then I'll ask my wife, ask me where that ball of yarn you wanted is in the house, and I'll just sit there for a second high and I'll be like, fourth drawer, kitchen, behind the oven mitts, and that's where it is.
It could be like that. Like it's the psychological version of like meditating to come up with an old memory or thinking of an idea. Like you needed the sticks so that your mind can go blank enough to make the best educated decision. Maybe something like that. So without the sticks, maybe you're not having the same results as with the sticks, but it's all your own brain. There's nothing, the sticks do nothing.
Gotcha.
Except for offer some placebo effect that you're using your
Yeah.
brain to wear. That's the, and then once I figured that out, I was like, all right, I'll move on.
That's fine. Let's try this one. A lot of people chiming in about our Halloween show that we all here thought was like we were given our C&D material, but apparently people listened to it. They were chiming in.
Hey Tom, Dan, Sam, Butler, Chef Brandon here. So I was just listening to the Halloween episode, and the girl was talking about the historical center, you know, the old courthouse and where Ted Bundy's desk was and that whole thing, being an extremely haunted location within Orlando, and that was where she learned that ghosts can come home with you. Again, kind of like the Haunted Mansion ride, right? Well, me and the wife did that exact tour. I'm pretty sure it was that company, and with her, we did that tour roughly 12, 13 years ago. And I have always been a skeptic. Again, the whole time we were in there, I have the little PKE meter, and I'm going around scanning a bunch of stuff. Picked up some stuff, and it was random, so I start having an interaction with a spirit supposedly known as Rosa. Well, apparently Rosa became very fond of me, and pretty positive, again, followed me home for sure. Couple days later, we had a pet die, and a few days after that, I was in an extremely large car accident that I easily could not have walked away from, and pretty much walked away unscathed, but definitely could not have. And it was really crazy. So, and it was all within a time frame of other strange occurrences happening during all this.
Well, it's definitely the ghost. Right? I mean, I think everybody knows that if you go on a ghost
this ghost
tour,
was trying to kill you.
if you go on a
And
ghost
your
tour,
animals.
save you.
No, it saved him.
Yeah.
If you go on a ghost tour, it saved him from his pet too. That dog is going to kill you. And Rosa killed the dog and then saved you. Yeah, this is easy. Brandon, you're lucky to have that ghost in your life, buddy.
It's like when people praise their Lord for saving them from things like this. I'm like, well, what if he had
Why
the
to
power?
put- yes,
well,
yes.
if he had the power to save you, didn't they have the power to make?
You know what, though? Everything happens for a reason.
to like not have the accident happen.
How would you explain the dog dying and you living from the car accident? It'd be like Rosa doesn't like dogs.
No, the dog died from that for whatever reason before. Then the car accident happened later. He's just attributing everything.
No, I understand that. No. I'm saying how is he connecting it in his story? Because to me, it'd be like there's no way.
One, he's breaking your heart. As Rosa's breaking his heart by killing his dog.
I'm getting
right?
mixed messages here. You're either saving me from a damn car accident or you're killing my dog.
Right.
You know, those are 180s. Like, I need a little something, you know.
Well, now
you push the dishes out of the cabinets. Okay, I know you're pissed, right? You don't kill the dog to let me know you're pissed. That's too far. You didn't even give me a chance to talk to you or try and summon you or nothing.
You know, it's like when someone puts a curse on you and then for the rest of your life, you start attributing that everything that happens bad to you to the curse. Yeah, because,
the orb.
You know, it's hard to just, you know, come to terms with most things are just random happenstance and it's just things happen all the time and there's no reason for it, which is hard for us to wrap our brains around. Like, we want to attribute a reason for everything.
It's not fun.
Because it's chaotic. If not, you're like, well, why did this happen to this person?
Like,
and the number one thing,
give me some explanations.
When anybody survives like a plane crash or war or whatever the hell, like is a crazy experience like that, their number one feeling is always, why did I survive and these others
and
died?
You have survivor's guilt.
And then like that's a human emotion. I think that goes with anything. Like if something bad happens to you or good or bad, it's like, why did it happen to me? It must be some superpower.
I had a car accident when I was in my I wasn't quite 18. Got in a really bad car accident where the two other occupants of the car died, and I had something what was called survivor's boner. Whew, so happy to have lived that. I mean,
I knew it was coming.
I didn't flesh that out. I got to work on that a little bit more. Survivor's boner is good. I stand behind survivor's boner. I'm so happy that God.
I'm good. I'm stoked.
Yeah, so happy. Let's try this one.
What's going on, everybody? Just went on a haunted trail last night.
All right.
Took the family out. Went to an all-ages event. It was pretty cool. Had my little 5-year-old right next to me, and he's scared, as you would imagine. I didn't think it was going to be as scary as they pulled it off, but... And like a 10-year-old girl that was working there, dressed up, came running out. She had blood, like fake blood all over, holding like a bloody knife. Looks right into my 5-year-old son's face and screamed on the top of her lungs, "Ah! I'm gonna kill you!" It was awesome. I loved every minute of it.
Oh my
Good
God.
job.
I put that in there. I flagged this one. I named this one Grit.
I
named this as the difference in dads and you. That is not a Tom Van approved dad. In fact, you would not give him your good housekeeping stamp of approval. That is, I mean, but it is, I do put that on the Grit level.
Have any of your kids ever gone to like a haunted house?
No, my sons are too scared to do anything.
No.
I mean, there were some like people turned the little bit of the front of their house into a haunted house, and like it was like for more adult kids or whatever. Like they wouldn't even go up there. You know, I'm not giving them any.
I wouldn't do that either.
Force them
when I was their age, I didn't go to like. I remember they would have. I remember my neighbors set up like a haunted trail, and I'm like, yeah, I want no part of that. I remember I was like, I don't want to do that. Now, as I got older, I found the appreciation in it. Yeah. Enjoyed being scared, but I think most little kids are in the same book of like, no, I don't need that.
Like, I
don't need the nightmare.
It's all kids are different. My Pudge's son watched Jaws.
Pudge's son has a full mustache. Pudge's son works
Jaws. You know, like I'm trying to push Transformers, and Mac's like too scary. And I'm like, Transformers. Like, I mean, I just turned it on, but still, it's like I don't know what the age is. I don't know what if like to expose them to that. That's what makes them tougher. Like Crystal's under the impression that that's trauma, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's fake. You know, there's nothing here to harm them, so like put them through that. That'll be better for them. But Crystal's like, no, you should. I have no idea. Then I'm like, I don't know.
Pick your battles. It's fine. Let's try this one. I believe is how brand loyal are you, Mr. Van?
Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam, Butler included. So a question for all of you. So I don't really buy shampoo really just shampoo for me. My wife takes care of all that. But every time we get a shampoo, maybe every other time, it's a whole different brand. And it's never like, I don't think, what's it like, Publix? It's always just like some weird hippie-ish kind of weird off-brand with way too much literature on the bottle. But I also notice her tampons every box or two are also a totally different brand.
Yeah, Andrea does this too, where everything they buy is like there's no loyalty whatsoever.
Is it what's on sale?
I think so. My wife is a cheapskate. I'm notorious cheapskate. I have no concept of money. So look, I'm
cheapo tampons.
Oh my
We'll
God!
never buy the cheapo tampons.
She tried to make her own one time.
No,
I
she did
swear
not.
to God,
No,
she did.
I don't believe
She
that.
tried to make her own out of old Best Buy boxes. I swear to God.
No way.
If I'm lying, ask her.
No way.
Ask her.
No,
Email her. She tried to make it out of yarn and Best Buy boxes. I caught her. I'm like, what are you making? She's like, I'm making my own tampons. I'm like, you're a lunatic.
No. Come on, no. You can't make your own tampons.
No, what she buys and her shampoo, I don't. If we get Suave, I feel like we've been to the Mar-a-Lago or something. It's the fanciest thing I've ever seen. Like, if we get Suave, I'm like, oh my God, Suave? She spent $1. We used to, for the longest time, my wife buy nothing but VO5. Vidal Sassoon
My
VO5.
God.
The triangle bottle with
That
the
is
yeah.
the
Oh, but it's not
cheap.
even. You know what it
Doesn't
is?
clean your hair.
You know what it is? It's not even shampoo. It's Dawn, different colored Dawn.
Yeah.
It's different
Well,
col-
Dawn works better.
I use Dawn on my hair sometimes if I use like a oil-based product.
See, I never buy my own shampoo, so I'm the exact.
You're like this guy.
Well, my wife buys a super expensive, whatever the hell. I mean,
Ooh.
I was using it one time. We were in the shower. She's like, "Have you been using that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was shampoo." And she's like, "That's $100 a bottle."
Oh my, $100.
Yeah.
Oh my God, soapy butt got
She
some
does have good hair, though.
She does, yeah.
But it's like,
So does Andrea, and if she's using VO5,
Yeah,
then
but
nothing matters.
Andrea is.
Yeah. I don't think it does.
What Andrea does for her hair to keep it nice, like she has to jump through hoops because she's so cheap. She does. Like she's using like mashed up bananas and things, and
Yeah.
she's using like natural treatments.
But if you like whip the ingredients together, it's the same that's in the $100.
Yeah, but
you
she's
gotta
just
be
cheap
you gotta,
enough to make
yeah,
it herself,
You're gonna be
yeah.
a mad scientist.
She's
there.
putting a Ziploc bag on her head with mashed up bananas inside of it. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm doing the
It
treatment.
needs potassium.
Yeah, she's like, I gotta get some pee in there.
But the only brand loyalty I have, and I was thinking about this.
Celsius, you're a Celsius man.
No, not even with that. Ketchup. If
Hunts, you're a Hunts man.
No, Heinz.
Heinz.
I got
I
flipped.
died,
I got
baby.
flipped.
If
Early-
there's anything else but Heinz, I'm like, for whatever reason, psychologically, I'm just like not as good.
I've always been a Hunts man.
Same crap.
I've railed against this on our podcast. I've been a Hunts man. I got made fun of. I got bullied by our listeners for being a Hunts man. That's how I grew up. I grew up Hunts. And I vowed on this podcast, on this show, on this radio show, to stay Hunts for life. But since trying Heinz and the vinegary goodness that is Heinz, I'm a Heinz man now. It's got a little more of a. It's got a little more of a little bit of a vinegar taste to it. A little more vinegar in the Heinz.
I have no idea if this is true, but I've always looked at Hunts as being El Cheapo.
Me
You told
too,
me that.
yeah.
You told me to my face.
Yeah.
I said I'm a Hunts guy. You started laughing.
I think that's also because people like when I was growing up, we used to use like the Hunt's tomato sauce.
Yes, for spaghetti.
For spaghetti.
It's in a
Oh.
can.
Yeah,
it's in a can. It's not in a jar.
Yep.
You were poor like me then.
Yep. Yep. And it scarred me for life. So I can't have
The
Hunt's
best
ketchup.
thing about Hunt's spaghetti sauce, they put it in a metal can, and that tomato, which is a fruit, the acid in that activates with the metal of the can, so you get this really nice. It's like you're eating your spaghetti out of a Marine's canteen. That's what it tastes like.
Stain your
It's metal.
fillings.
Oh, it's so metal.
Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, and we are live on Twitch right now. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. We are self-proclaimed Orlando's strongest stream, and you can check us out Monday through Friday. Normally, we have the stream up around 10:30 or 11 a.m., and we go until like 3 p.m., but you can watch the show, and then all replays are on YouTube. That's where you can find us after hours.
Also, Sofa and Suds this Sunday. Races start at 2 p.m. We got Angel on stage DJing with us this year. It's completely free. You could bring your kids, bring your pets if you want.
I always think you're going to say, bring your kids,
Bring your wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just sounds right. I ate ribs with this
Next
dude.
year we should do that.
Yeah, okay.
Again with the late trends.
Oh, yeah, I like late
let's push
trends.
that.
Late trends is great.
There's going to be food trucks, of course, beer, liquor, whatever
Yeah,
you want
I
from
like
West
beer.
End, Celery City. We're going to have new merch out there, brand new merch that we haven't even come out with. I think probably 4 or 5 different T-shirts.
We have a brand new hat
Yeah.
that will be debuted there that I'm getting 3 of them.
Me
just
and-
right off the top because I like to wear hats, and stop bothering me about this damn new hat. It will be at Sofa and Suds.
Me and Daniel host the actual sofa races and the recliner races, so we'll just be talking S on stage the whole time, and it's clean. So you don't have to
It's a
worry
lot
about
of
your
fun.
kids.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't have to bring a PA this year. In fact, I started to freak out a little bit, but then I heard you talking to somebody. I'm
Ben
assuming.
from OrlandoBands.com.
Oh, thank God you're talking to Ben. He'll have everything taken care of, and if Angel's on the 1 and 2s, I'm good to go.
Yeah. And Orlando Bands does a great job putting the PAs down both sides of the street. So no matter where you're at, when you're watching the races, you can hear me and Daniel. It's not just coming from the stage. It's coming from the stage and a line
daisy
of
chain
Yeah,
of
PAs,
different
yeah, yeah.
PAs, and they do a nice job. And Ben gets out there super early and works his ass off to do this. So if you see the sound guy, bring him a hot dog or something.
Yeah.
Buy him a beer.
So come by, watch the sofa races, and hang out and drink some beer.
Apparently, all the ladies that work at my dentist office, all the beautiful hygienists
yeah.
will be there. All the beautiful hygienists.
Joey Mazand is here. How you doing, Joey?
What's up, guys?
So we don't have an intro yet, but
Was I supposed to do it? I'm sorry.
No,
I
no.
apologize.
it's
You did look at Dan like you were disappointed.
Joey
in
can probably
him.
make his own. I mean, he's a musician.
Yeah, you're right. You want-
classically trained
Yeah.
musician, singer-songwriter. He could do his own.
Yeah, I saw, and the reason I saw a BDM on the BDM page, like ranting and raving about Joey's last segment on here, saying
Thank you so much.
I really appreciated Joey's
Energy.
Is energy.
They use that word a lot. They love your energy. I love your energy.
Thank you, guys.
But
You're
also
so
your
nice.
knowledge on the parks is beneficial to people that are dabbling and getting good at going to the parks. And how many times have you been
Oh,
You
to
ready?
Magic? I mean, which is the number
he
one?
probably knows because the guy knows math.
Yeah.
So this is the big joke I tell my families all the time. In the year 2019, I was in a theme park 326 days. I had 1 to 1.5 days off a month on average.
But some of those days, I would imagine you went to multiple
My
parks.
God.
No. Some they weren't all for work. They were all for work, but some were for my YouTube channel.
Oh,
some were
gotcha.
so that I could familiarize myself. Some was because you got to stay tight with all your buddies at work there, so that they know, hey, what's up, man? How you know, a couple of handshakes, a big old hug. You got to know people.
That's true.
Well-
it's like me. I roll through Chick-fil-A a couple of times a week just to make sure all the Christ chicken people know me.
Like, let's just say Magic Kingdom, right? I don't know if is that the one you've been to the most?
It was up until a few years ago. Now it's all going to get replaced by Disney's Hollywood Studios if we're just talking Disney, because it's all about that sweet, sweet Star Wars money.
Yes.
got you.
Whenever Disney stroked that $4.2 billion check, they knew they were going to get their money's worth. So it's all about Star Wars now.
Imagine the waste, by the way. Like, I remember at Universal Studios when we like they would tell us some behind the scenes, like, guess how much this sculpture from the Life of Pets is, and they were
Oh, you're
like,
talking about the float.
Yeah, we're like-
oh no, I know the one he's talking about. It was
we're
just
like $3,600.
Hold on.
They're like $80,000. We're like, what?
Joey, do you know what it was?
$80,000.
It was a slightly No, it wasn't even animated.
No, it was like
a
papier-mâché.
It was a fiberglass cat. That sat on this Life of Pets thing, and it was beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but somebody had gone in, meticulously molded it, airbrushed it, and made it. But it was like an $80,000 fiberglass cat.
Yeah.
So at Universal Studios, the big red ride, the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, you familiar?
I'm a fan.
That thing was, I got to be one of the first people on that back in the day. It was awesome. That set Universal back about $48 million to build that. The new Frozen sing-along.
Seems
newer
too
at
much,
Disney.
right? You're
Yeah.
like, well, you could do it for $29.
There's a
Right? Like, I'm saying, you could have saved $10 million. Or, like it just, why is it so expensive?
But in that same retrospect where you're at,
Safety.
they built the Frozen sing-along, just that theater, to refurbish that theater so that you could sing along with Anna and Elsa. $4.2 million. $4 million
I didn't
for a
see it.
sing-along.
Sorry,
Which
I
is
don't see
weird
it.
that they'll do that, but then won't update like the Voyage of the Little Mermaid, which is so outdated.
Talked about that before. I'm
And
so
it smells
sick of
like
it breaking
mildew in
down.
there.
Okay, one of the things that I have a huge problem with, and I'm looking at you, Disney, because normally I'm not critiquing Disney as heavily, because I think it's a better experience. That's just me.
Okay.
But that one place that they have that as you're walking through Epcot has a lot of buildings that I'm like, that's an old ass building.
Yeah.
You got to knock it down.
They're working on that
And
now.
you got to make something new
Finally.
because all the buildings, and you'll know the buildings at Epcot. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. You guys know these buildings. You can look at them. They're brown. Every brown building, knock it down. They're all brown.
If it's brown, knock it down.
Thank you. That's good.
Put that on a shirt.
This is a real thing that happens where, and I'll explain. Me and Daniel saw it with Orlando City, but if companies, especially builders or contractors,
Hear that squeak?
That was a great squeak.
Why did that happen? Why did
tried
that
to power
happen?
through, but it was too good.
I heard it and I was like, don't say anything.
Why did that
It
happen?
was a remix.
So, anyway, if they think you're rich, they will charge you quadruple
yes.
what they'll charge. Me and Daniel, Orlando City sent us out to try to put together they wanted to do an Orlando City, soccer truck, right? And, they wanted, a really awesome truck that they can go to, mobile events.
Just like a promo
Like a
vehicle.
promo vehicle.
And we were in charge of, kind of getting the bare bones, the skeleton of the vehicle. And we know how to do this stuff.
So they were go around to some of these the different custom places that do audio and car customization places
And get us, some quotes.
and get us some quotes. And I remember we went to one and we sat down with the owner, and then they talked to us and man, what you want with the system and stuff like that is going to be upwards of $17,000-$18,000, right? We're wow, that's a lot. And then Orlando City, we didn't even know, they sent they went out and talked to some other place, and they're they quoted us $48,000. I'm $48,000.
Yeah, the difference was insanity. It was a $38,000 difference.
And they walked in wearing the Orlando City polos, and they were all saying, they saw them coming in. They're $48,000, and so
it's where'd you meet? Oh, we met at Orlando City's offices. Well, there's your problem.
And and so the same exact things, because we had the criteria, but they will do that. So if you're Disney and go and talk to some custom roller coaster builder, it's gonna be 100 times more than if you were a small Carowinds in North Carolina or something like that. Because I bet you can get the same roller coaster for half the cost, but because it's Disney, they're going to charge you more. Right?
Now the inverse of that, just because I know I'll get emails from Disney people, they'll be like, "Oh well, come on,
Well, they just want the best of everything.
Yeah,
right?
but the main thing that I complain about with Universal I put this in the same category. These are my main complaints of just what I see when I'm walking around. Right, when I walk past Hulk Coaster, one of my, if not my favorite coaster, and I see the guy at the front, and he's in the Hulk outfit, and it's got the little fuzzies on it, he washed it himself multiple times, and it's faded, and I'm like, nah, dog, you can't have fuzzies on your Hulk coaster outfit. You got to give that to Universal Laundry.
I was going to
have
ask,
them
does
launder
Universal
it.
have that like they do at Disney?
They do, but you have to go all the way through their guest services, their HR building, which is in the back parking lot, back behind the old Beetlejuice ride.
Yeah.
So imagine you're working at Fallon, and you got to walk all the way back there. You're like, screw it, I'll just wash it myself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think that's what they do, because I see some busted-ass costumes at Universal comparatively.
Here's your trivia.
And
What's
then-
it called? What's it called if your uniform is busted? Sam?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't
know
know.
The
this
term
one.
you're looking for is bad show. If it is bad show, it is not acceptable, and you will be axed.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
Oh,
if
it hasn't
fire you
happened,
for
because that
that?
guy at Hulk Coaster, he's been there for years, and he's got a fuzzy outfit
Oh,
on.
I'm talking about Disney. No,
Oh,
Universal, you're good.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
let it
yeah.
ride.
Yeah.
It's just a little dingy. It's not
not
bad.
bad.
The
It's not
coaster's
bad.
phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but it's I look at it, I'm like, that is not a fresh shirt, sir.
a little less fit and finish,
Yeah,
right?
a little, yeah.
And has Disney had the same employee problem that
Yes.
every other company's had?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
They
So-
only about, to my knowledge, again, this is not a fact, this is just what I've heard. Disney has 80,000 employees. When they reopened, I was told only about 36,000 came back.
Yeah, that's why they haven't been running the trams either.
because of a shortage.
Yeah.
And that's why none of the little kiosks are open. That's why I can't get my GD jalapeno cream stuffed pretzel that I
Yep.
like so
a lot
much.
of the little carts aren't open.
It's my carb day, man. On cheat day, that's my thing. That and 4 beers. Are you kidding me? God, mwah.
I'm still trying to get those cheeseburger egg rolls.
Yes. Oh, over by
He knows my
by
thing.
Adventureland, right by
Yes.
Adventureland. There's that one kiosk that only has
Never
those
open.
freaking egg rolls, and they're better than things.
Tom hates you both so much. Sorry.
Love it. You
Sorry.
invited him here.
For sure, they're not,
We're gonna nerd out on Disney.
for sure they're not that good. Because it's
hey.
a corporate double S.
Hey,
Again,
you're lucky you're
let
stronger
people
than me.
like
I stand up to you.
Well, it's like a food and wine fest. So like, oh, you have to try this. I'm like, still corporate manufacturing. I mean,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
some sort of small
There's truth to
business
that.
can do it way better, right?
There's truth to that. I mean, you're not standing on the streets. Just like the streets of Paris.
Right.
Yeah, it's not-
Except for Italy. Except for Italy, because you know that the bread in Italy tastes different than anywhere else on Disney property. Do you know about this?
Are they doing
No.
the water from Italy or
You heard
something?
about
The
this one?
water is from Dayton, Ohio, which has the exact
Wait
same
a minute,
climates
I know
as.
a guy from Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah.
It's not
I'm
better.
sorry, Dayton, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Wrong one.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah. I was going to say, Dayton,
Still not
Ohio,
better.
I was supposed to say
Still not
pee-pee.
better. But apparently the water is the exact same.
pH or
God bless it.
alkaline level, whatever.
As Napoli, which is where their most popular
Interesting.
pizza's from. So they have the water boiled, bottled, sent down here, and they use it to make the bread. That's why the bread in Italy tastes different than anywhere else on Disney property.
I do like the pizzas there, that little pizza
Oh,
restaurant
gosh,
they got.
yes. It's
And-
quick service now, too.
And I didn't know that. And the Italian bar, Tutto Gusto, I think that's what it's called. I love that place. That's my favorite spot on Disney property. I love that
Oh, you
place.
kidding me? You get ouzo, you can get all the good stuff there. You get limoncello. Oh, I'll drink it by the bottle, bro.
I sit there and just get like the wife likes to get like ham. You know, like the sliced ham,
prosciutto.
prosciutto, and then like
We're
the
just getting
cheese.
a bowl of ham.
My wife
Delicious.
goes there. She gets a bowl of ham, and then she reads about making her own tampons. That's what she does. She's weird.
So
And she
Joey,
calls them hampons.
Tampons. Oh my god, tampons.
Sir.
So my idea for this bit would be for you to give some advice to people that like to go to the parks that you have that other people don't because you go so much. So do you have anything
I
today?
have a question, but
Oh.
I'm not sure if I did not prepare for it because I just learned about this one today. The
Okay.
Very Merry Christmas After Dark special. What is this? What are they doing after dark now?
Whoa, very merry
Right?
after dark.
What
I mean,
is this?
Anything back when I was a kid, if it said after dark on the end of it, there were
yeah.
T's involved.
Yeah, like
But,
Big Brother
but
After
it was
Dark,
so
yeah.
scrambly, and you had
Yeah.
to turn the channel to the weird. You remember
Yeah,
that?
like Jerry Springer after dark, T's
Right,
are involved.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
So
Girls
that's why I was
Gone
a
Wild
little
after dark,
taken aback. I was like, what is this?
T's. You know,
it's not gonna. So what the rumor is, it's going to be the only way that they can serve alcohol in the Magic Kingdom aside from a sit down and dine restaurant. That's why they try to do
Yes,
Oogie.
it's
I
a
know, right?
workaround.
Amen to that. So it's like the Oogie Boogie Bash. That's why we didn't have Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween this year. We had Oogie Boogie Bash. It's so they were able to do the stuff they do in California at California Adventure because they're like, well, we got to find a workaround. Walk's vision, blah blah blah. 2 + 2 equals grapefruit. Let's make this work.
Right,
and so
right.
they had to figure it out, and they did. And it's basically a reason that the biggest upcharge in a theme park is alcohol. We know this. It's the biggest. To pour a draft beer, they charge you $14 for what costs about 8 cents. So that's where their markup is. So if they're trying to make that sweet, sweet Disney money, they got to start pouring you beer.
And every dad there just wants to get drunk because he's there.
Well,
It's
this
like a
event
lot of
starts
walking.
at 9 p.m., so it's
Yeah.
geared towards adults.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is.
It's
yeah.
a 4-hour event. It starts at 9.
Well-
so most kids are usually in bed,
If
or
you got, like, a
working on going to bed.
Teenager kids,
Yeah.
like 15, 16-year-old kids. You know what I'm saying?
Most
Like,
of them
you
don't
know,
care about Magic
But
Kingdom.
not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
teenager. Think about this. You guys were around for the heyday of Pleasure Island. How many times would you be hanging out at at Mannequins or hanging out at Jelly Rolls or hanging out at any of the top 40 motion, and all you see is like a mom with 15 kids come rolling through, and it's like, oh, we don't want to go to bed yet. And I'm like, it's 2 a.m. Your kids need to be in bed, and they're in a stroller, and they're like looking around at all
this
the bright
might
lights.
surprise you. I was never a Pleasure Island boy.
No?
My parents, or at least my
I
mom
feel
and
like
stepdad,
your dad put on his best Columbia shirt and took your mom to Pleasure Island, and then later,
Yes.
I won't go into that.
not my dad,
That's
but
how
my
Tom came along.
my stepdad Steve. I remember when I was like
Firm handshake, and he will dance to some Queen's. What song do you think he would dance
Under
to?
pressure.
Yeah, no, I feel like he's another one bites the
No?
dust guy.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a Queen's, another one bites the dust. He'll loosen the top button of his Levi's.
No, he's got the pompadour, crazy little thing called love.
Yeah.
He's rocking the 1950s greaser look. I'm down.
I remember in the 90s, my mom and my stepdad Steve went to Pleasure Island. Like they took the family for family vacation, and I was like 13 or something like that. And so
taking your mother to a discotheque.
and we were and so I like babysat like my brother
Oh, that
and
means
my
you just
sister.
bullied
Man.
them,
Yeah,
slapped
yeah,
their
yeah.
cheeks, and made them mac and cheese.
And then they went to Pleasure Island, and I remember he got his tight jeans on, his boat shoes, and
Yes.
his, with some sort of silk, billowy vampire
Yes.
shirt.
Yeah, he put a little bit of
Yeah.
brute on.
Yeah.
He slapped a little brute
And
on.
my mom feathered her hair good.
Yes.
and
They
then-
went to 8 Tracks, the
Yeah.
disco bar.
They
Yep.
put on their dolphins kissing earrings. Every Florida mom had dolphins, nose to nose. The bottlenose dolphin earrings. You put those on for a fancy seafood dinner, and then you go to Pleasure Island. You dance to Queens. Another one bites the dust, and then you poof.
I remember being so confused because I was like, my stepdad seemingly hates fun and hate.
He's doing it for his wife.
But that was back in the day when real men would go and dance. Yeah, it was still considered like a real man thing to do to go dance with your wife at Pleasure Island. Like,
I will contend if you go to any country bar where there's line dancing, real men are out there dancing.
Yeah, I know. It's so bizarre to me because I'm like, don't you hate fun?
And
I thought you hated fun.
But real men that decide to dance with their wives do one thing that I can't stand. They hit a level of creepy nirvana in their eyes that is,
well, it's always
it grosses
horny.
me out.
Oh,
They come up behind them while they're line dancing, and you could see their eyes almost roll back in their head, and they assume they become like a demon, and then they start like grinding. Boof grinding, and I'm like, whoa, hold on a second, man. A minute ago you didn't like dancing, now you're literally devil grinding my mom, you know?
Like Jean-Claude Van Damme in that morning show.
He's born
you get so, because you're such a real man that doesn't matter if the world is watching, you'll still get a boner. Anyway.
Well, sharks, it's almost like they blinded out, I feel like, right? It's like bloodlust.
So, Joey, what are we going to talk about today? Any suggestions, any tips?
A couple little things. The first one, and I want to make a note of it so I didn't say it wrong. Character meet and greets are back. And by character meet and greets are back, I mean character sightings are back.
So, when they drive by in the car? Because we got one of those with a princess.
I actually kind of like those.
liked it too.
No, the sightings are because they're GD celebrities now. You go into like Mickey's Town Square, and your kids are like, there he is, the mouse. I can't wait to run over and hug him. And some bodyguard pushes your kid back like it's Justin Bieber, and they're backstage at a concert. It's like, sorry. You can stand 6 feet in front of him, and we'll take your picture. And it's like, my kid's like dressed as Mickey. He wants to hug Mickey and shake his hand. Sorry, it doesn't work like that.
Wait, is Mickey Mouse vaccinated? Like, what the hell?
Well, couldn't you put like it's in a
put
suit?
A glass.
Well, you could put a whole astronaut helmet.
Don't even put a human in there. Just make it a robot and then let the kid hug the crap out of it.
You could put double surgical mask and then the whole and you got a head on.
Wait a minute. Put a person with corona in there. Then they can't get it.
The rules are so weird. It's like they contradict themselves constantly.
It's fun fact. You know what? I'm not going to ruin the magic. I'm not going to say Mickey is or isn't real, but I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Can we have a moment of come on? You
Well,
know?
I understand they started doing that because of Corona and everything, but
they don't care about Corona.
No, I'm over Corona.
You go on the Haunted Mansion now, they're like, move together, get as close as you can to each other. It's like, what are we doing? Are we 6 foot
that's what the guests.
I know, they don't care about us.
But the employees, they're like, I don't want to get sued.
We only got a few employees left.
It's a billion.
Keep them healthy.
Exactly.
I will say that it's better for my photos if Mickey is making the white power symbol 6 feet away from my photos.
That was Gru.
Oh, that's Gru. That's right. It was Gru. Somebody's doing the okay. So I don't know what all the signs mean anymore. I used to do that. Was our Christmas card this year. Me and the whole family making the okay sign, and we had to cancel it.
Meet and greets are back, so you can
sightings.
Kind of meet. I mean, you got to stand 6 feet in front of them and like do the double thumbs up with them 6 feet behind you.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to make the peace sign. That's a thing. They're not allowed to make the peace sign anymore because that's a thing. So
what's that mean?
Oh, what's the peace sign mean?
Apparently,
wait a minute. Is that bad?
Apparently, in some countries, it means something offensive. So no more peace signs in the picture.
Oh my God!
Dude.
Taking my peace signs away.
Pop-Pop's just rolling
Back
over.
in my day, I used to be able to do a peace sign or anytime I want.
Yeah. Anyway.
Next thing you know, I would like to hear an old man go, next thing you know, they'll be taking my goddamn blah, 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 blah away.
They'll be getting rid of Splash Mountain next. What's that all about?
So
they are.
Sam knows.
You can still do a good old American thumbs up, right?
Until somebody realizes.
No. What does that mean?
You have to do a double. You have to put both your fists together. You have to go.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to do a yeah.
I'm telling you.
What about the all over everything?
Yeah.
The multiple. That's called that.
D's and C's.
Yeah.
You can do D's and C's.
We call that the B cocky. You know what I'm talking about, right? Oh yeah. Anyway,
so the other thing, this is I always like
don't
to give.
Don't be arrogant. Be cocky.
There you go.
I love you guys. I wanted to give all the BDMs are so nice. Everybody who reached out and said hi to me, added me on Instagram, and thank you guys so much. It's been nothing but kind words, and I really appreciate
That's
y'all.
awesome.
They'll turn against you.
Yeah,
though.
they will.
I expect it.
They
It's
used
always
to love
the second
EJ
appearance
too.
they turn on you.
Yeah. The first thing, like, we want more of that.
Get
Then
that big cocky him.
And then I actually set you up for failure because I'm like, we're going to be doing more of this. And that's what they hate. They hate doing anything I like.
It's
That's
all right.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Nerd Job.
I will be going the way of those before me, the EJs and the greats of the
You
world.
could never
and
be that
Business
bad, though.
babies.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Every episode of Nerd Jock's like the first episode for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's one of my 5 favorite segments too. I'm sorry. I think EJ's a nerd who knows his stuff.
well, yeah.
Well, he's a nerd. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Andy doesn't care and he's
Yeah.
lazy. That's a
I
problem.
don't
is
like that.
lazy.
I don't like that.
I think the general public dislikes laziness, even though they're lazy, which
Yes.
is weird. Like, I don't like laziness, and I'm lazy. I'm like, why aren't people working hard
Well,
enough?
this might
but I'm not
come
working
as a
hard
surprise to you, but I think short people are disgusting.
enough. Yeah.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Every time I see one, I'm like, oh, yuck.
Anyway, so the visitations are back.
They are what I wanted to help as visitations.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
hospital.
Yes, the hospital visitations are back.
I want to do a couple of freebies for the BDMs. I wanted to save y'all some cash when you go to Disney.
Yes.
There are, of course, I remember you go to
Listening.
Disney almost as much as I do. My gosh. You can pay for the Lightning Lane, as we talked about, the Genie Plus, and that's nice. For $15 a person, you can book fast passes. That's a necessity. But I'm going to save you money on the individual rides where you can pay extra money for them. Don't pay for Space Mountain because that doesn't get a line until after 10:30 in the morning. If you go in the morning, I'll save you for
You're
family
good
of
to
4. I'll
go.
save you $40.
So before 10:30, not needed.
Not needed. Same thing with Animal Kingdom. Don't buy Expedition Everest. That park only has 5 rides. Literally, if you can, I can do that whole park in an hour and 15 minutes.
See,
That's important info.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you know which ride, like the start, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, and you've told me this before, so I think you're going to agree. Your starting ride is like getting there and starting your day on the ride that gets you going the fastest is paramount.
Yep.
Okay.
You do Animal Kingdom. It's literally that's the one where if a family's like, hey, we're booking you for 3 days. I said, okay, I'll give you Animal Kingdom for free. On the 4th day, here's what you're going to do. You're going to get there at 7:30 in the morning, go to Avatar, work clockwise around the park. You'll be out by 10:30.
That's great.
I wish
All
there
right.
was some secret, but that's it. That's
really
Animal
it.
Kingdom in a
Okay.
nutshell.
Good to know.
a lot of this is if you don't, you could be missing out on information you don't know. And sorry to go to gambling real quick, but there was
prepared.
now that I don't know if gambling, if people knew this, but Hard Rock Casino now opened up an app where if you're in Florida, you can now their sportsbook app, you can gamble through their app
Pretty
legally
darn
in Florida.
cool, yeah.
And on my gambling page, I saw a bunch of people like, look at this, it's open now. And then I subscribed to it or whatever. There was a BDM that it was his first time making a bet because he didn't want to go through Bovada and the offshore stuff because you got to go through Bitcoin or whatever. Anyway, so he made a $5 bet on the Jaguars to win the money line bet. And it was a ballsy bet because previous to that, I was screaming, you're wasting $5.
Correct.
No way they're going to win. Anyway, they won. And then another BDM was saying, congratulations, but your first bet, it was $100 free roll as a part of their promotion. So he could have bet $100 on that first
Oh my
bet.
God, yeah.
And then won, I think it was like, I mean, who knows what the odds are, like 6-1, like you could have won $600 or whatever, free, but he bet $5 because he didn't know about that. And a lot of it is like, know the promotions, know what you're getting.
Well, that's the hardest part of poker for me, right? Like, I know how to play poker. I don't know how to bet in poker.
Yeah, well,
I don't.
I
don't know how to. I don't know how to raise correctly. I don't know how to position myself. I don't know how to do any of that.
Yeah, and just knowing that could make you
I think
5 times better poker player.
I believe it's more important than even your cards because a guy that knows how to bet, no matter what cards he has, knows how to play.
So
I don't know how to do that.
One of the most coveted prized possessions I still have to this day is the printed photo of me and you guys at the Phillips File Poker Tournament. The year that I knocked Shannon Butler out of the tournament and she signed my shirt, I still have that picture. I think it's from 2009, and it's me and you guys. God, you haven't aged a day. I still love that
we
picture.
have.
Not a day.
My beard is white, snow white.
It's perfectly manicured. You're a beautiful human.
Thank you. I got it cut on Thursday.
So, Joey, you think a lot of people waste their fast passes on rides that they could have got on at the same amount of time?
Very much. It's when you open up the app, the first thing you see is what pass can I grab first? oh, there's no line for It's a Small World. We should grab that Fast Pass. It's like, fun fact, there won't be a line for It's a Small World until there's a line for everything else but It's a Small World. So it's just a matter of, again, hit me up. If you're going to the park with your family and you like a little free information, I love the BDMs, man. You guys are the reason why I get to do stuff like this. So please, hit me up. I'd love to share my free information with you and make your day successful.
Yeah,
make you look like a rock star.
100%. If you do go and you navigate it incorrectly, he'll tell you too, like you've done with
100%.
me. He's like, yeah, why didn't you call me? You did that wrong. Like, you got to save some time.
So, maybe you didn't come prepared for this, but I'm going to throw a curveball at you. But if you are going to your family and you like alcohol,
Is the Pope Catholic?
and are there any particular places in the park where the alcohol is cheaper, or you get more bang for your buck, or any tips or tricks to consuming alcohol for less of a price at any of the parks?
Unfortunately, Disney does not become a Fortune 500 company by offering discounts. So alcohol is the one thing that you're going to pay for. My best recommendation is drink outside of the parks before you go in, like Epcot. If you go to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, I go to Big River Grill and Brew Works. The brewmaster there's a cool guy. You can drink all the beer you want there. It's very inexpensive. Get yourself loose. Then you go into the park and have a couple of $40 martinis or whatever it is you're going to drink.
Gotcha.
I recommend it. It's just like when we were in high school. 21 years of age, when you're able to drink. You drink before you go to the event. You drink before
Pre-party.
Pre-party.
Yeah,
There's the word. Thank you.
And so there's nothing cheap once you get in the parks.
No.
Gotcha. I remember,
But they are offering full pours now at Food and Wine
Oh, thank
on
Christ.
beer, which they have never done before.
Yeah, it used to be little 4-ounce pours.
because they're like, I remember on the cruises when we used to do Tom and Dan cruises, some of the beginning ones where you didn't get like a all access drink package or whatever, like there was a hack where if you got the Foster's big oil can of beer, it was the same price as a regular sized beer, but you got whatever the oil can ounces are.
Yeah.
And I remember people were like, hey, get the Foster oil can.
It's the same price.
It's the same price you get, and that was the hack, but there's nothing like that. Disney's like, hell no. We're like, every beer is going to be $18.
I would love to talk to those guys on the cruise ships and be like, for some weird reason, every family that comes on this cruise ship brings 8 bottles of Scope. They almost really care about their breath.
Yeah, exactly. You can see that. Yeah, you absolutely see that.
So, Joey, anything else that tips or tricks?
With the theme parks, are we jumping into gambling?
Let's
We're kind of flip-flopping.
yeah, let's talk
go
gambling
wherever you
for a
want.
little
We're
bit.
loose.
Yeah,
So we made this joke a while ago. I thought it was brilliant. I like the alliteration. I like what you did. Tom hits me up with this really cool email about, hey, man, he's like, you seem to know the parks and you seem to like gambling, and I don't think he cares for the parks, but I'm pretty sure he likes gambling. So he called it Parks and Parlays or something, just a working title. I thought it was clever.
He forgot about it.
that
Come
sounds
up with
great.
that.
Who told him that? That's my idea. Parks and Parlay. I'm Parks and Parlay.
So I started pulling a whole bunch of analytics, and I'm thinking about the Steeler game tonight versus the Bears. So you got the Steelers 4-3, Bears 3-5. I found a pretty sick parlay at 6.5. If you get the Steelers, give them the advantage. They're in the home team. They got 2-1 on their home advantage. If you this is a weird. You got to work with me on this one.
Okay, all right.
Their kickers are thirsty. Steelers kickers on the way out. Bears kicker coming in. The Bears. I mean, we're doing the Super Bowl shuffle versus the Steel Curtain, 70s and 80s. These are guys that haven't. We need a streak. So what I'm thinking is, if we parlay into the kicking, you can bet that the kicking score is higher than the other score combined. So let's say that the Steelers use their defense.
Oh, wait a minute. He does some crazy ass things. You do like basic.
Well, I'm too stupid. It's Joey's Rain Man. What do we expect? That's why Tom Cruise brought his R-Word brother to Vegas. He don't know what he's doing, but his brother does. He counts the toothpicks.
I like the idea of Joey's like dialing it down to like thirsty kickers. I mean, like you're like let's go. Like I don't even know what's happening right now. How do you even bet on the kickers? You can do that.
Well, didn't the Steelers kicker get hurt, and then they had to bring in the punter to try to kick extra points, and he couldn't do it?
He couldn't do it.
That was last game, and then
but he's back, so he's busted. So what we're counting on now is that if the Bears kicker gets more points than the Bears combined versus the Steelers defense, which is about 14 ranks higher, you can parlay that off the kicker's points versus the Steelers win at 6.5 on a tease. Then we take it to something real stupid. We do the under at 40. There's no way if this game doesn't go over 40, you can turn $100 into about 13 and some change.
So you parlay with the under with what bet now?
Steelers at 6.5. So they got to cover.
You sound like you're out of your mind. You're like, what?
So you the Steelers and the under.
Yeah, the Steelers and the under, but then you got to find these dudes that are like me that take the coin flip. Give me the coin flip. What's a coin flip going to be? I got a 50-50 shot, but I'm only going to pay you 35%. You got to find those guys, and they're out there. You got to find a good, I don't know if the term Munzie transfers down here, a bookie.
I don't know. Is that racial?
Yeah,
Can we
No,
say
no,
that?
no, it's not.
I don't know.
See,
Okay.
by the way,
I was joking.
Okay,
what
sorry.
Joey is doing is how professional gamblers
I like
win.
it. No, I like the
Because
way
they're
he's saying it
finding
because
the
the kicking
the
thing
right
sounds like he
numbers.
found. You're
I'm too
always talking
stupid.
about
I'm
the
like,
edge.
but which one, Bears or Steelers,
No.
gonna win? That's all. Like,
Which
I
one's
can't-
a blue team?
no, I understand what Joey's saying. It's like, but that's it all depends on what sportsbook you're
People
using.
are liking Parks and Parlays. I see a lot of
Thank you, fellow
positivity in
BDMs.
the
I love you
chat
guys.
room.
Thank y'all.
Twitch.tv/Tom and Dale Live.
But what does that have to do with the kickers?
Because that's the third leg. You got to have 3 big legs. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And the third leg is the one where you have to take it. The Bears kicking team has to put up more points
Than the Bears total?
than the Bears total. So
That makes sense to me, like, because
So-
that's crazy.
because if they don't get a single touchdown, but they get 2, let's say they get 3 field goals and they get a touchdown, they still put up 9
Yeah,
field
they're
goals
over
plus
it.
the 6.
Yeah.
They got it covered.
You're good.
So and
I'm lucky, but I'll
and
take it. Thank you, sir.
Now, a lot of books won't let you parlay certain bets together because there's a thing called a correlated parlay, which all good gamblers are trying to find, which is like, for instance, this is a tip for a lot of professional gamblers talk about, where if you have a really bad team with a huge underdog total. For instance, this weekend with Bills versus Jaguars, the Jaguars were plus 14.5 against the Bills. So a lot of professional gamblers, since the point spread is so high, they'll take the under and the underdog. Right, so that seemingly is a correlated parlay in the fact that if the underdog wins, most likely it's going to be a low-scoring game. Basically,
That makes sense to me, yeah.
being it's the results are correlated, and if you can double those up and get value, then it's a positive EV bet.
We always joke, if you have a 51% chance at anything in life, take it. Because they're already giving you better odds. That's why I have so many people love craps in the casino, because it's the only game in a casino that pays you better than a 1.3% return. That's it.
Yes.
So what you're saying is at a 51% or better with a correlated parlay like that, you could throw $1 million at it, and they say, well, $1 million only wins you $250,000. It's like, oh, then I'll throw $10 million at it, so I win $2.5 million, because it's basically a guarantee.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is this where you're trying to head?
What?
Do you want to get into more of the...
I'll never be as smart as Joey.
Well, I don't
though.
wanna
I
use
need
the
Joey
ter-
to be my partner, and
I'm
then
in.
we go to
Okay.
Vegas.
Well,
That's
we're doing it right now. I mean, there's a sophistication, though, I will say, to his bets that, not to say that you don't have the knowledge, you do, and you're putting in the work, and I know it's your hobby, and I know you're really into it. I want to be respectful for it. But, man, when Joey starts winging around stuff like that, see, now he's talking about the weird stuff, like where he's having a dial down on players, like even now we're doing kickers. That's weird, right?
And I will say to all the BDMs, I apologize if I talk a little bit fast. People know I have a...
Nah,
so
you're good.
thanks. So
They
if
love you.
I'm
Don't-
talking too fast, I apologize.
You're good. You're
So,
good. Don't
Joey,
worry about it.
when we get in the convertible and go to Vegas and to
Dude,
I like this.
I
to
go
win
to
all
Vegas.
the money,
I go to Vegas like every 3 months. Just say when.
Why don't you go with him one time
Tom
and see
and
what you
Dan
can
do Vegas.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
I don't want to go with them. Just
So-
let them have their boy time.
Fair enough.
Let them have their boy time.
when we get the high price escorts to come to the room,
Like a married man. Why would you say that?
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's what huge gamblers do.
the
Like
Wolf
when
of
you
Wall
win,
Street.
when you get the
We got
escorts
the
that
wolf
come up,
over here.
and then you're like,
wolf.
I want the girlfriend experience, please, because I'm a
I don't want the
P-word.
girls.
No, I don't want the
That's
girlfriend
the funny thing. Yeah, they
experience.
offer that on the
Yeah,
on the Reddits and the or Craigslist.
Some people want the porn star experience.
I don't want either.
want the girlfriend.
I want the stranger.
The girlfriend experience. Is
Well,
that when
that's
we
the-
date for 8 months and don't do anything?
No, well, they give you the girlfriend
I don't
experience or
want
the
the
porn star.
girlfriend.
The
Like
porn star experience is too.
The girlfriend is, do you really love me? I'm like, I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
She's nice. The porn star experience, they they do the whole
The
thing.
porn star
and they're-
experience, they're like, they
like-
pull down your pants, they
Spit
instantly
your
spit
mouth.
on you. They're
Yeah. A lot of
It's like,
spitting
It's too
involved.
aggressive.
Yeah,
I'm
too
like,
much
oh god.
spitting
I'm
involved.
like,
What's in the middle of that besides girlfriend and
Spitting
porn? What's in the
girlfriend.
middle?
that's called the wife.
Spitting girlfriend. A spitting girlfriend is a wife.
Spit on you. They're mean to you,
Yeah.
and then they somehow love you, but you don't get anything.
Yeah, like my wife, she loves me, but she still spit on me.
Yeah. All right, Joey. Where can people find you if they want to go on these tours or they want to hire you to take their family out? All that. You're pretty booked, right?
I'm pretty booked, but that doesn't mean I won't make time for fellow BDMs. You know, we developed a really cool community with a bunch of really nice people that are all doing the same darn thing. We're having a blast, living our best life. So if you need advice is free. Hit me up. Joey Mazant on all social media platforms. Mazant, Mazzant. Joey, you can spell Joey.
Cool.
I love it.
So we'll do this again next month. We'll try to find some other tips and tricks for BDMs to use while going to the parks, and then
and until next time, spit on it. I don't know.
Bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's do some voicemail.
Indeed. I love voicemail messages. Joey's hanging out with us. Let's go right. Oh, man. All right, let's go with this one.
So I know we like to come up with our own names for things like chopper, etc. But I heard a word the other day, and I know that we call Dan a chirper. But the actual definition is a flibberty-gibbet. Dan, look it up. You're a flibberty-gibbet, not a chirper. But it's a cool saying.
I don't think it's a cool thing. A flibberty-gibbet.
That's
I've
definitely
never
not
heard
cool.
of that.
Yeah.
It's referring to a flighty or whimsical person, usually a young woman. Okay.
That's mean.
And what like, did they talk all the time?
I guess I could look more into it, but that's the first thing that came up.
Because Daniel's not in particularly flighty, and
No.
like, he's actually
Flibbergibbet means to gossip or chatter.
I do chatter.
They don't gossip.
Sometimes I do.
Really?
Yeah, I like gossip. If
Well,
it's
just-
something, if it's somebody,
A silly, flighty person.
if it's somebody I don't like, I like to know that they're in a bad spot.
You know-
and I like to celebrate that.
I've been hearing chirping more and more off NFL broadcasts because the commentators will mention, they're like, this guy's chirping, this guy talking about like defensive backs like talking S to the wide receivers or whatever it is. Like,
Oh,
they
is that
can-
a term they use?
They use the
Interesting.
term chirping to describe talking S to each other on the field, and I thought that was funny. But that's the only other time I hear chirping.
Too many syllables.
Flibberty-gibbet?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
clunky. It's clunky.
You're halfway through complimenting somebody, and they're like, "I'm over it, bro."
Yeah, you don't want to say that.
Chirper is just another word for extrovert, right?
probably.
Oh, that might be a chirper.
Well,
You chirp a little bit.
I think.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
you. I
always-
think you have to in the kind
Yeah.
of work you do,
Yeah,
right?
you
You're
chirp a
meeting
little.
strangers
You're good
every
at chirp,
day,
but you're
and-
good at it.
Oh,
you know,
thank
like
you.
no, like when you came in, you're like I'm bearing gifts. Like that's like some stuff I would do.
Yep.
Tom hates that. Like when, not to say that he hates you or hates that, but I'm just saying.
No,
that
that's an
You're
awesome
not
one.
that guy. You're not the guy that walks into the party holding the White Claw above your head and you're like, I brought some gifts. What's up, guys? Like you're
Yeah.
not that guy.
I like our guests that bring gifts.
I do too.
Chris Crespo does this
He
too.
does.
He does.
I
He
love
brought us
him.
donuts last
He brought
He's
us
so
donuts.
nice, dude.
Yeah, you and Crespo are a top tier on the list. You know who's bottom of the list because he never got his gifts? John Busbecker. That guy has scammed this entire city
Haven't seen
into
him in so long.
believing that he is a good person.
Yeah, I believe it. He gave me whiskey at the Phillips File tournament.
He gave you something and he
he
gave
got-
us nothing, and we gave him all kinds of
He
free.
got a gift.
We gave him all free airtime. Dare I say, we propped up that podcast he did. We put him on the map. We're kingmakers.
See, there's a difference between a person that has like a talkative extrovert personality and a chirper, and the one difference is I believe the chirper wants to have like kind of nonsense talk or
Like
like
small talk.
talk
Yeah.
where it's
Nonsense
nothing.
talk. That doesn't hurt my feelings
Well,
at all.
it's like,
Nonsense talk.
hey, how are you doing today? What's your day like? What's
hey.
look at this.
Niceties, yeah.
Like,
Hey,
just a bunch of nonsense.
Hey,
We're
don't
doing-
need to say that. Hey, I'm just wasting my breath here. Hey,
and then
just
like
nonsense.
the
Hey.
the person that really cares would be like, hey, I heard about this. How you like want to get deeper into it? The chirper, I feel like, is very like.
Oh, it's not surface. I ask you
surface
questions.
level.
No, that's good. Now you're questioning the origin of my feelings.
I
That
feel
is
like a
one of the
chirper
most
doesn't actually
hurtful-
care.
He's saying I'm just
Wow.
doing. He's saying that, like there's literally no connection between
yeah.
me and like when I
Just-
say something like, "Hey, how's your family doing? Or how's your sons doing?" Like
It's-
you feel like
yeah.
I'm just doing that to just hear you.
Yeah.
Just going through the motion.
Yeah, it's like you're farting out of your mouth. It's just you need to release it, and it has to get released in
You know, I've never
verbal
said
form.
this before, but when I say it to you, it is in fact a mouth fart. But when I say it to everybody else, I mean it. When I say it to Joey or Sam, how's your husband? I asked Sam that today. I was like, how's Travis doing? Is he doing all right? I mean it with them.
There is a skill to small talk because I'm bad at it, and but I can kind of turn it on if it was like, because if I'm at an event or I'm supposed to be, but I'd much rather just sit back and not talk at like a birthday party
But
or
you
whatever.
don't do it when people come to do things at your home because I've witnessed it. Like if there is a person providing
you'd
a
be chirping
service,
crazy.
God forbid the tech from Guardian Water Services comes to your house to put in a sweet Westinghouse system, that poor person's going to have to stand there and listen to you hover.
That's if they give it to me for free or they're doing me a favor. Then I feel
Then
like
you punish them by
The word
chirping
trade.
at them
No,
while
I-
trying to do
they
their
want
job.
it.
Words
They like
for it.
it. Because they're doing it because they're like
Now you're victim blaming. They like it.
no. I'm assuming that
Anybody that's wearing work pants deserves a good chirping from old Tom
No, if
Vail.
they're-
He's
Work chirp.
asking for it.
well, if they're doing me a favor, I'm assuming it's because of the show, and therefore I'm assuming that they want me to hang out.
and turn it on for a second.
Well, why else
Excuse
are
me
they
for a
doing it
second.
for free? They're not.
Because, bro, you
Well,
got
they
a great
might-
personality.
they might
People
like
like
you,
talking.
and
Don't
what
tell
that-
him that.
But that
What are you
doesn't mean they
doing,
want you
Joey?
to do the show for them live while they're trying to work.
Well, I
They can
assume-
still appreciate the show and what you do when you're actually doing the show, and not when they're at your house.
Yeah,
and
leave
trying
them
to do your-
alone.
but
their
they want the
job.
Tom Van experience, like Joey. If
No, they want
I
the
think you should
girlfriend
ask 'em
experience. They don't want the Tom Van experience.
I think if you like invited me, like, hey, let me show you the parks, and I just went there and was dead quiet, and I wasn't.
No.
telling
That's
you,
a different
That's
example.
different,
You're
yeah.
going
We-
as a friend. He's a friend of the
We
show.
wouldn't talk about the show even once. When I went to the park with Butler, we had the best time, and we didn't even pretend to talk about the show. If you go to the park
That's
with me,
because Butler's gay and he finds it attractive.
yeah, he told us.
Yeah, he told
he
us.
Wanted. He thought
told
you
us.
were
He's
going to.
like,
He wanted the girlfriend
He's
experience.
Like, I'm so close to pumping this guy.
yeah.
I got him lined up. My wife
Yeah.
doesn't know. I'm finally going to get some sweet Disney sex.
Yeah. That's why he was. He was awkward around you
it
because
was
he
awkward.
wanted it.
That's why he's not even in here. He can't come in here because he got a raging boner.
You hear him laughing? He's
Yeah, he's
laughing
laughing.
at
Every
the
time he
truth.
gets a boner, he laughs. That's just science.
All right. Bye bye.